I'm my beloved and he is mine. His banner over me is love. I'm my beloved and he is mine. His banner over me is love. His banner over me is love. He brings me to his banqueting table. His banner over me is love. He walks me to his banqueting table. His banner over me is love. He brings me to his banqueting table. His banner over me is love. His banner over me is love. Yashaya is the rock of my salvation. His banner over me is love. Yashaya is the rock of my salvation. His banner over me is love. Yashaya is the rock of my salvation. His banner over me is love. His banner over me is love.
Praise AHAYAH. Children of Israel are here. Mount Hor. We're going inside the tomb to pray for our brother Aaron. Holy land, Qadash. We are in Qadash. And as you know, Mount Hor is at the border of the children of Israel heritage. So we're still within the borders, but this is one of the borders.
Qadash, AHAYAH, sham, AHAYAH, Malak with Ka, Thabat Zawanka, AHAYAH, Baharatza, Kawahaya, Bashamaya, Nathan Lanawa, Lakan Kawyawam, Wasalat Nawa, Khawaf Nawa, Kasalat Nawa, Kawaf Nawa, Thabayan Nawa, Minasaya Wapamba, Hawashin Nawa, Mayarai, Kayalaka, Hamlakwas, Wahala, Wahasaparas, Wa'awalam,
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Praise the Most High.
All glory and praise to AHAYAH, Yashaya, Yashaya, Qadash, Rawach.
Shalom, praise AHAYAH, Yashaya, Qadash, Rawach, Shalom, Israel. It's Sister Kana, and I am back. Praise AHAYAH, Yashaya. I pray you all are having a blessed week. And that, because I am. And I hope you're enjoying your summer. Praise the Lord as well. I'm here and got a few things I want to talk about. Praise AHAYAH. Well, it's a lot going on, y'all. Welcome to the Nappy here Chronicles, where we are chronicalizing the journey of the awakening of the children of Israel in Babylon in our last captivity. Woohoo! This is our last captivity, y'all. Praise AHAYAH Yashaya. It is wonderful. It's amazing. And it's really amazing to watch these prophecies unfold. It's a lot going on, y'all. I mean, we're going to go into the news a little later because we need to go into that. And I haven't even really had time to, do a whole lot. But, y'all saw the title of this video. It's like the nerve of Don Lemon. And this is a couple of weeks back. Candace Owens had a debate with Don Lemon, and he's one of the anchors of one of the shows. I don't even know, I don't really keep up. I'm not sure if it was CNN or, one of the main anchors there. Black guy, African-American, good-looking young man, and him and Candace Owens got into a debate. Now, I really like Candace Owens, and a lot of people, don't really like her, or they starting to like her now that she's off of that the Daily Mail. A lot of the people are starting to, warm up to her, which is good. She's a sister, and she's an outspoken sister, and she's been doing her thing. But also there's a lot going on with her too, but I don't, I'm not going to go into that because I really just want to focus on the nerve of Don Lemon. Now, they got into a debate, and I'm not even sure if I can show some of the debate. I don't know if they're going to strike my channel. I hope she doesn't, because I'll play like some of the video just to, bring everybody up to date, because there's so much going on. Things are happening one day after the next. It's so fast, because of the prophecies, and Christ is coming. Woohoo! Yashaya is coming. So everything is just speeding up. The time is speeding up. Everything is like, so we don't even have time to really focus on too many things. But yes, they got into a debate, and she went at him, and I mean, rightfully so. I mean, it's just ludicrous now, because they're making good evil and evil good, and this is part of the wickedness. We're living in this wicked, kingdom of these people that's just deranged out of their minds, literally, and our people is just following along behind them. So it just makes it even worse, because when Judah does things, it just really exacerbates the whole situation, because Judah is the salt of the earth. But on the other end of it, when it's wickedness, it's just down to the depths of Hades with it. Israel got to take it the lowest to the low. So we, this is where we are. So Don Lemon thought that he actually thought he was going to try to put her in a, precarious situation by asking her, "Oh, do you feel my marriage is sin?" He had the nerve to ask her. Here she is, a professed Christian, coming out, she's Christian, and he's going to ask her, do the fact that he's married to a man, is it a sin? I mean, the nerve, these people are so wicked. It's blinded them. It's all sense of any morals is gone out the window. So he had the nerve. He knows he's sleeping with a man and living with a man. And because this wicked nation is upholding all this foolishness, he felt the need to get in a debate with her and ask her, is his marriage a sin? And she was supposed to stumble and sneak around it, but she didn't. Praise AHAYAH Yashaya. And that's why, you got to give her a little respect, because she's not backing down, and she don't be skating around nothing. Now, what the agenda is with her, we never really know. But the fact that she's standing 10 toes down, on a lot of these issues, that she's not backing up. And, I can applaud her at least for that. Now, a lot of people don't like her. I mean, she's married to Esau. I mean, it's just a mess with her as well, because I even recently found out, like, she married him within like 3 weeks of meeting him. So, it probably was a setup. You know what I'm saying? This probably was, like Cat Williams says, this is what they give you kind of thing. So we know, what I mean when I say that. When Cat Williams said, this is what they give you. So she's definitely, in that category. And she probably doesn't even know it, because a lot of them be set up and they have these handlers and they don't even know why. They're just so happy, like, to have a husband. That's why I tell y'all, be careful out here. Be very, very careful, because people are actually being set up, especially, Judah in the time of the awakening. They'll put someone on you, and the next thing you know, you're in a situation and you can't get out. And then it all, comes to you. Hold on. Nice and cold, because it's hot in here. Okay, so don't be surprised. So I recently found out, like, she met her husband, and within 3 weeks they got married. And I was like, yeesh, that's not good. So you never know about these scenarios. Not that, people can't fall in love, but at this point, like the Bible said, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Like, this stuff be so far-fetched, you can't even believe nothing that's actually going on. Nothing. Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit of the clip with her just kind of, and then I'm going to segue into, and after this, let me just tell you, I'm going to segue into, like, the daughters of Zion are really, really crying out about these relationships with these down low men. I mean, they are crying out big time. All on YouTube, we got story time after story time after story time, how they're dealing with these men. And these men are, you can't say the GAY without it being a problem. You can't call them FAGOT without it being a problem. So we're going to make up names for them. They're going to be called the Fay-Fays. Okay. So you can't, go on YouTube and without these women, the daughters of Zion, are complaining, screaming out, crying out about these Fay-Fays. They're all over the place, and they screwing this, in relationships with men and women. The Fay-Fays. Yes, our brothers, Judah, is in America acting a fool at this point. It's way, 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 way out of control. The men, and I'm just like, where are the prophets? Like, they're not even talking about this stuff. It's supposed to be cry aloud, spare not, right? We're supposed to be like, our men should be like prophesying on Nineveh. Isn't that the sign of Jonah? So, like, they should be really tearing this place down or tearing that place down, crying out to the world about all this wickedness. Why are all these Fay-Fays able to just walk around, parading around? I mean, you got trans this and trans that on top of that. We ain't even talking about the trans. We're talking about just the Fay-Fays, GAY men, because you can't say certain things, or the FAGOTs, Fay-Fays. We're going to call them Fay-Fays. Why are they just running amok and nobody is saying anything? They just scared to get their channel taken down. Everybody's scared. When the scriptures say we're supposed to be crying out and sparing not. What is going on? And you got Atlanta, the hub of all the wickedness for the black people. It's straight up wicked. you know, and the Most High just like, okay, yeah, y'all go ahead over there, go in that one place. So when there's destruction, that place gonna be hit. I mean, I'm not saying like New York is bad. All these big cities is running rampant. Really, the children of Israel are just plain running rampant. So I'm like, what are the prophets doing? I mean, they really supposed to be raised up at this time doing the work, crying out, spamming not. I mean, this thing is running amok with these people. But okay, I won't go too far with it. I'm just going to start with Don Lemon, with his foolishness. I mean, the nerve of this brother. This is a brother. This is a Judite talking reckless, okay, and really think he got a leg to stand on. And it's just the nerve of how he's approaching her with this, like, because he was like, I want you to say it because I know you're going to get in trouble for it. But it backflipped on him. And, you know, he just played himself so bad. And nobody really wanted to bring it out. Nobody really wanted to talk about this. But I guess because so much stuff is happening, it just kind of, you know, one thing after the next. But no, especially the Hebrew Israelites, they don't want to say nothing about stuff like this. They won't even, you know, this stuff will ease on down the road. Nobody will see these little dancing men with tights walking right past you and won't say a word. They won't share a word. They're so scared that their channel going to get taken down because they mentioned the Fei-Feis. And they just running amok, y'all. Hold on, let me get it. I'm not going to play it all. I just really want to bring this out. Hold on. Share my screen. We gonna see. Where is it? Here you go, the Smackdown. She called it the Smackdown because it really was, because he, you know. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna start at, I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am not okay right now. I need to talk to you guys because something has happened regarding which I may never recover. Yesterday, I did Don Lemon's podcast. Yes, that Don Lemon from CNN, formerly of CNN, I should say. And he straight up asked me if I wanted to call him a fat. Yeah, he was goading me to call him the F word. I'm going to show you some moments from that very interesting and compelling interview. Also, Michaela Peterson is retracting her comments regarding censorship, sort of, maybe, not really. And the Times of Israel and Haaretz, those are Israeli publications, are now verifying a report that the IDF invoked what's known as the Hannibal Protocol on October 7th, meaning they killed the establishment. But let me tell you this, I have been in politics a very long time, or I guess a long time relative to my life, 8-9 years. Suddenly a button got pressed and they said, no, now people are using it to talk about homosexuals and you can no longer say that. And I said that we should not do that. We should not allow perverts dictate language. And then bizarrely, Don Lemon then tried to ask me if I wanted to call him the F word. Take a listen.
So the word you said was right?
Yeah.
Is that exactly the word? So what did you mean by that? You think it's okay to say the word, to call people a to their face?
No, actually, I said words have meaning. And so when you start allowing the perverts to dictate speech, then words just have to go away. And as I said in that clip, when I was growing up and I was reading English novels, when people say you're walking through the woods to get a faggot, it meant a bundle of sticks. And then they said you can no longer say this word that has a real meaning, right? A bundle of sticks, because some pervert took that and threw it as an epithet towards gay people. I think that's actually, that's a wrong way of thinking, because then what you're doing is you're allowing perverts to dictate society. So I don't like the death of the English language because people are getting offended. So that's like, I could pick any word. I could say, you know, plant. And from now on, every time I see a gay guy, I'm gonna be like, he's a total plant. And then eventually they say you can't say plant anymore. It's like, no, this is a real word that has meaning. Attack the person who's perverting the word, but you don't suddenly disappear a word and you say you can no longer say it, or you can no longer read these Virginia Woolf novels because the word has been perverted. I think that's a backwards way of thinking.
You can read Virginia Woolf novels, and the only people I know who are trying to ban books, Virginia Woolf, and other books that even say the N-word, I mean, it's conservatives. That's who's trying to do it. I don't think that you should be banning books. But I do know, Candace, that language evolves over time. And when people say that word to me, They're not calling me a cigarette. They're
No,
not
well,
calling
obviously,
me
that's the point. It has a
bundle of-
context. So
yeah,
if you want to punish that
right.
person because they're saying that offensively, that, you know, if you feel that this person, but it's not fair to then say to everybody else who's not using that word that this word has now been banned. I just think that's ridiculous. You know?
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think you can
to,
suddenly say go backwards and delete words that had real meaning because someone has perverted it, because then it never stops. It just becomes constantly having to update the language for people's feelings. I don't think that we should be doing that.
So you would never call me a fat in my face, right?
Well, why would I just randomly call you a fat?
I'm just meaning.
Have you ever seen the Louis
would never use that
C.K.
word
skit
against.
on? Have you ever seen the Louis C.K. skit on fat?
No, I like Louis C.K., but I don't think I've ever seen.
You
a
should
skit
watch
on
it.
That. Yeah. No, but you would never call like a gay person that to their face.
That seems like an absurd. Like, what? No, of course, I'm not just going around. I'm a 35-year-old mother. I don't go around being like, "Hey, you're a." That's just like, I'm not 18 years old. Like, I'm not going around calling people names. Period. I wouldn't go up to a fat person and call them names. Wouldn't call. It's just like it's an absurd thing to be going around pointing and calling people names because I don't like them. I would no. So the answer is no. I would not.
Do you use the N-word?
No, I don't. Still not entirely clear on what point he was trying to make there or why he kept trying to goad me into saying that I would.
Yeah, and I just, and there's more to it. And he asked her, was his relationship a sin? And he knows it's a sin. These are wicked men trying to justify their wicked behavior and trying to be, because he's, learned, he's, well educated in his eyes, just because they've been programmed at these Ivy League schools, and they think that, they can out-talk people and outsmart people, and people just think they're smarter than other people. This is how he's coming off, very like smug. Oh, so would you call me a F word, or would you or you think my me being with a man a sin, and trying to catch her out there and catch her up. You know what I'm saying? It's just straight wickedness in these people. And this is a man. He's I believe a Black American, I believe. So this is the tribe of Judah. I mean, unless he's mixed somewhere, I don't even know. He's coming off as a Black man, and he's married or in a deep relationship with another man, a Caucasian man. And he's trying to justify this. This is the wickedness of Judah in America, trying to really, justify all this wickedness. And then they're going to try to back her up into a corner. He was like coming off like a bully, actually, because I'm going to pay some more. Just back her up in a corner so I could get her in trouble to say something because she's, talking against the LGBTEFGHIJK community. And then, maybe get her channel taken down or just something. The wickedness, you could tell it was in his spirit of him. He was moving it even in a wicked spirit, and trying to act like, oh, you can't say this to me, you can't talk to me like this because I'm protected. It was coming off on that kind of spirit. So let me just play a little more, and just keep this thing going, because it has to stop. And we have to start speaking up about this stuff, because we are supposed to be the chosen. We are supposed to be the righteous. Who else is going to bring this conversation to the forefront, heavily? We're supposed to have our prophets talking, prophesying, speaking of, cry aloud, spare not, really shaking this thing up. But people are so afraid, to say anything because they're worried about their channels. They're worried about their channels more than worried about the Most High is telling them supposedly to prophesy and wake the people up and bring righteousness and all this stuff. All that stuff is out the window. And we have to be worried, about getting our channel taken down. And obviously this young sister here, she's not worried about nothing. She comes out and stands 10 toes down, letting these demons know. Now, I'm not saying that I, condone anything with Candace Owens, with what she got going on. Because y'all know clearly I speak a lot about the interracial marriages and all this kind of stuff. infiltration, and she could very well be. They could be using her as well, and it's probably the case. But it is what it is. But at least on this particular situation, this is the stance. At least she had enough to stand up and speak about it, and she constantly does. She's not backing down. And this is a Judite sister, and a Judite brother, who are both on different ends of the spectrum, because she's in an interracial marriage and he's in an interracial Fei marriage. But that's the name we're going to give them, Fei. Okay, a mixture of the GAY and the FAGOTs. Okay, so we're going to call them Fei. So that but it's horrendous. And this is the stance, because he's educated, he speaks well, he thinks he can just get away and kind of like bully, in a sense. They think they got a solid, ground to stand on. So, just look how smug he is. I'll play a little bit more. Hold on.
Would call him the F word. He then later on asks me if I'm a homophobe. He asks me if I have any gay friends. It just got weird. And then, of course, because he has to go through the leftist liturgy, he arrived at the inevitable point where he wanted to ask me about conspiracy theories. And at this point, his producers had produced a list asking me, do you believe this? Do you believe that? Do you believe this? And because you are a regular viewer of the show, you know that these are just psychological tactics. When they're calling somebody a conspiracy theorist, it's because they don't want you asking questions about a narrative that they are insisting upon. But as I said yesterday, I'm built different. So here's what I said when he asked me about who I believe shot JFK. Take a listen.
The CIA killed JFK.
Yes, I believe that.
You do?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because there would be no other reason for them to lock down the files for as long as they did, and then come up with a stupid Russia did it thing that long. The only time you would lock down files like that regarding a sitting president being shot.
Okay.
And by the way, if they knew Russia had done it, we would have gone to full-blown war, because they would have killed the sitting president. And also because, and this is a very interesting fact that I learned in this book, Chaos, that people should read and actually become very informed about this, the individual that shot...
We're going to move forward. Hold on.
And I'm offended by what you're saying, and you laugh. You mock
Hold on.
face at the concept of Christian persecution. I lost my cool. Take a listen.
She started talking about...
It's not about the Holocaust, okay? Christians suffered too. In fact, we are the most persecuted religion in the world. And I am so sick of it. I am so sick of there can only be one victim narrative.
Candace,
and if you start talking about...
a Christian, and we are not the most persecuted in the world.
That is a fact. What are you saying? We're not the most persecuted religion in the world. Do you know what's happening in Armenia? Do you know what's happening in Nigeria? Do you know what just happened in Canada? The fake story that was propagated by all...
You weren't aware of the birth certificate. The other things, perhaps you weren't aware of the investigations that have taken place.
You just can't shoot a president in broad daylight, and then we pretend we don't know who did it. That's just that. You have to be a conspiracy theorist to believe our government had nothing to do with the shooting of JFK. That's my viewpoint. It's too ridiculous.
Okay, I'll disagree with that because I just don't. I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah,
do you take offense when people call you a conspiracy theorist?
Do you think what?
Do you take offense when people call you a conspiracy?
No, because I've studied the history of psychology in this country, and I know that that term was actually entered into the American mindset after the shooting of JFK. They started using the term conspiracy theory to make people get off of their tail or not ask questions by making it seem like it's crazy to want to know. Sensitivities of the people that are working on your show, when I'm sitting here telling you that I'm a Christian, I'm offended by what you're saying, and you
Oh, gosh.
Other persecutions, because Christians are persecuted, and he laughed. The audacity of that. And I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he did it because people need to see that. People need to understand that the mainstream media has, I guess, such a lack of respect for Christians, because we're always supposed to... This liturgy, he arrived at the inevitable point where he wanted to ask me about conspiracy theories. And at this point, his producers had produced a list asking me, do you believe this? Do you believe that?
Well,
saying that offensively, that, if you feel that this person, but it's not fair to then say to everybody else who's not using that word, that this word has now been banned. I just think that's ridiculous,
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah,
like, I don't think that you can
to...
suddenly say go backwards and delete words that had real meaning because someone has perverted it, because then it never stops. It just becomes constantly having to update the language for people's.
I'm just trying to find where he asks her, does she feel his relationship with a man, him being married to a man, is a sin? So I'm trying to find that one, but I don't know.
Feelings. I don't think that we should be doing that.
So you would never call me a fat in my face, right?
Well, why would I just randomly call you a fat?
I'm just.
Have you ever seen the Louis
would never
C.K.
use that word
skit on? Have you ever seen the Louis C.K. skit on fat?
No, I like Louis C.K., but I don't think I've ever seen
You
a
should
skit
watch
on
it.
that. Yeah. No, but you would never call like a gay person that to their face.
That seems like an absurd, like, what? No, of course, I'm not just going around. I'm a 35-year-old mother. I don't go around being like, hey, you're a that's just like, I'm not 18 years old. Like, I'm not going around calling people names, period. I wouldn't go up to a fat person and call them names. I wouldn't call it, just like it's an absurd thing to be going around pointing and calling people names because I don't like them. I would, no. So the answer is no, I would not.
Do you use the N-word?
No, I don't. Still not entirely clear on what point.
Okay, no, I don't know where it is, but basically, he asked her, did she feel his marriage to a man, was it a sin? And he knew doggone well it's a sin. And then, I'll take it a step further. It's an abomination in the eyes of the Most High. And these people, because they, delve into wickedness on such a high level, they don't even realize, or they don't even care that this is an abomination against the Most High. And these, and this is a Black American man. This is Judah, I believe. I'm not sure if he's mixed or whatever, but let's just say he's a Black man. And this is the thing that we're getting from Black men. It's like, this is how we are, take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else has to disregard it and try to act like, oh, it's not happening. And they can point out everything else about, sisters and everybody else, but they will not fix this problem with these men running amok in this community, creating all kind of havoc. It's havoc, all this trans stuff, dressing like women, wanting to be women. I mean, they done take it to the fifth. They done take it to the fifth degree, how bad this thing is. And it's nobody really, it's uncontrollable now. We don't let this thing get so out of control and nobody can't say nothing, or they refuse to say nothing. But yet we supposed to be in the last days. The prophet's supposed to be standing up, screaming it from the rooftops, the sins and the abomination against the Most High. And they just sitting there acting like, oh, we can't say this, and want to point the finger at the daughters of Zion. That's why, no. It's not going to happen. I'm going to always speak up. Praise AHAYAH, Bahashim Yashaya, because then I'm not going to let them get away with this, because they know they're supposed to be correcting these situations. But they'll rather put their tail between their legs and try to focus on women instead of dealing with this situation head on. Go prophesy on Nineveh. Go to Atlanta, that deep, demonic, depths of Hades. Go down there and prophesy against the men running amok down there. These are our people. It's like another sin city. Not only do we have sin city, I mean, New York is sin city. It's just running amok. And you know what? People don't want to hear you talk about it. Oh, don't say anything. Oh, Sister Connor, don't you say anything, Sister Connor. Don't you talk about this, the wickedness and the ratchetness, the trifling behavior of our people throughout Babylon. And this is why judgment is coming. And our people will not. They refuse. And like I said, going into the next segment of this, the daughters of Zion are crying out in these cities. I mean, we're going to watch these videos of these sisters talking about their men are on the down low. There's so many videos of women finding out their men sleeping with other men. All this transgender stuff is going on. The LGBT, all this stuff, and it's men. When is this situation going to be corrected? It has to be corrected. And if you act like it's not happening, if you don't say anything, they'll try to act like, It's not going on. You don't see it. Nothing here to see. Nothing is here to see. Don't focus over there. Go focus on women wearing a whole lot of makeup, or go focus on women, you know, having BBLs, or go focus on women. You know, they use women to take men down because men are so preoccupied with sex that anybody can be used to take men down instead of correcting men. Get themselves together so that you cannot be taken down. How about being abstinent and practice that so you can learn how to not, somebody can't use somebody else to take you down. There's always somebody else's fault instead of our men getting themselves together. You are supposed to be the kings. How are we going to make this transition? How is the transition going to happen? You just want miraculously the Most High to change you. You don't want to put no work in. You don't have no restraints. You can't do nothing on your own. Somebody else, it's always somebody else got to do it. Okay, so, Shalom, Sister Michelle, how are you? Praise AHAYAH, Yashaya. Yes, I'm talking about the whole atrocity of our brothers. I'm sorry I have to do it because we got to focus on the kings. Our kings need help. Now we're going to work this out. So I'm going to listen to these videos of the daughters of Zion crying out. These are women, and it's not all daughters of Zion. It's just women crying out of the atrocity of these men. And I got a few. So hold on. Let me go to that. Okay, here we go. And I'll skip around a little bit. Hold on. These are some random videos, but it just shows you what's going on. So here we go.
In a situation where they had an inkling,
Wait, hold on.
maybe even a gut woman into.
Wait, hold on. Let me start.
Hey y'all, welcome back with another one. It's your girl Christy Mack, where I talk about all things above and all things below. And today we're going to get into a few story times about how some women found out about their husband or their boyfriend being DL. And I think every woman that watches this video has been in a situation where they had an inkling or maybe even a gut woman intuition. Your friend probably told you, or you probably saw something yourself. And just between woman to woman, I think if you do find out that your man is gay or on the down low, I highly suggest you just make a clean exit, because the whole reason for him being DL is so he won't get caught. And in some cases, once he feels like he's being outed or he feels like he's being seen, things can turn violent. Or in some cases, he'll try to mind play you and try to do like a 4 + 4 = 9 type of situation. Like, oh, that's not what you saw. That's just the bro. That's just how we hang out. That's just how things go. And they be smack dead in our face with it too. I mean, be hanging out with the best friend or the brother or somebody they going to the gym with, and we be wondering why the brother/best friend be acting crazy towards us. That's because he be in a whole relationship with your boyfriend. And for the men that are out there and that are gay and are in the LGBT community, my good Judies out there, y'all have to be very careful as well, because I have a lot of good friends in the community, and they tell me how they mess with DL men and how they become very violent and very controlling and narcissist and domineering. They be wanting full access and control of you, but they don't want you to mess with no one else. So ladies, just pay attention and recognize the signs when you know you're a cover-up, aka the beard in a relationship. And for my gay men out there that genuinely desire a real relationship, don't just settle for being a secret or being the boyfriend that's hiding in the beard. Okay? But yeah, let's get into these stories. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for future content.
Tell me the time you caught your man that was on the DL.
Because there's definitely a story.
Her man was on the DL. She's about to tell her story. Don't interrupt her.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going through his phone and everything, and I can't find anything. And there's something in my soul to say, go check them emails. And I see that he's emailing back this girl. Like a girl. Like he sends one picture of himself, she sends a few back. I go look at the pictures immediately. I'm like, okay, this is a man. I'm shaking because I'm like, I literally just woke up to him. I'm like, yo, you gay? Like, you know, this is a man? And he's like, what are you talking about? And so I pull up the email and I'm like, this clear. It looks like
Right.
a man. Like he literally, in the most sincerest voice, was just like, "I swear to you, Mama, I did not know that was a man." Took me shopping the next day. I left him like a couple weeks after. I knew what he was trying to do. He was just trying to love bomb.
Hey y'all, get ready with me while I tell the story time of how the boy I was talking to at the time was down low girl. Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying to each their own. Like, if you don't mind talking to a bisexual man, that is on you. But he could at least told me, you know, but he didn't. So let me tell y'all how I found out. Okay, so when we first started talking, I had seen him on my campus at LSU. He doesn't go here, but I saw him here, and I thought he was so cute. Like, he was my type physically. So I remember I was talking to one of my friends who, like, from the same place as him. I was like, girl, like, put me on. So she actually didn't end up doing that. I had ran into him another time, like at a bar or something, y'all. I really don't remember. But long story short, he ended up getting my number. And from there, we started talking, y'all. You would have thought we'd been talking. Like, we got right into it. So it started off pretty good. Like, he would send me money. We would talk all the time, all day, every day. Like, we would literally be on the phone all day. And this was during the summertime. So I didn't have class or anything. So we would just spend so much time together. And like I said, he was from a different city, so he would come down to like my school, and we would spend time together. Like, everything was going good at first. So we would talk every single day. And on this one day, I had sent him a TikTok. I don't know, I think it was a shirt that I wanted, but I sent him a TikTok. And you know how on TikTok, it's like when you text it. Hold on. Okay, let me try it again. When you text somebody, it'll say so and so just viewed the TikTok you sent them. So I get that notification or whatever. And it's like this random page. It has a fucking black like profile picture or whatever, and it wasn't his name. So I honestly thought my TikTok was like tripping. Like, I'm like, who is this? Okay, so I click on it, and I don't see no mutual followers, and it only had like 30 something followers. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is wrong with my TikTok? So me being me, I'm like, let me go through and see like who this page follows, so I can like try to figure out what's going on. So y'all, I go through the follows. It is straight like, y'all, it's like stuff that I didn't even know was appropriate to be posted on. When I tell y'all there's some evil sides of TikTok, y'all gotta be careful. I didn't even know you could post stuff like that on TikTok. Like, it's like men like twerking in the camera, all type of explicit activities going on. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I did not know what to do. I didn't know like what to say. I'm just sitting there like jaw dropped. So finally, like, I think I just honestly ghosted him, like just me being me. But the thing is, me and him had already made plans, and like obviously he didn't know that I saw this stuff. So me and him had already made plans, and he was about to drive, or he was already on the way to come to my school. So me being the childish person that I am, he was like blowing up my phone, y'all. He called me like, I kid you not, like 100 times, and I just did not know what to say because honestly, I was just so turned off. Like, I didn't even want to conversate with him. And looking back on it, like, I should have been mature, and I should have been like this isn't gonna work or something. But like, y'all, we were making plans, like, so that complete switch, it just wasn't gonna make sense without me telling him what I found. And y'all, on top of all that, tell me why you had a girlfriend. She gonna DM me on Instagram talking about, hey, like, do you talk to so and so? I saw your name in his phone, like when he slept over last night. So I'm like, what? So honestly, what I should have did was just told her, and then she could have told something. But no, I just told her. I was like, girl, you're fine. Like, I don't want him. You don't have to worry about me. I didn't tell her what I found. I should have, but I didn't, because I just feel like that's a sensitive topic, and I don't ever want to out nobody. I don't want to disrespect them. Like, I was honestly just ready to move on with my life peacefully, act like that didn't happen, and like just move on. But we all know that's not how life works. So he texted me something like, oh, you could have told me if you ain't. I don't know, y'all. It was something like with an attitude of. So I had to text him back. I was like, look, when I sent you a TikTok, it led me to your burner page, and like, I didn't like what I saw at all. So y'all, listen. So he sent back his main TikTok page. He was like, this is the only TikTok page I have. Like, first of all, I know TikTok didn't set you up. So what's really going on? Like, he like, I don't know why that happened. Like, this and that. Typical nigga. So I guess the end of the story kind of boring, because more of the story, him and that girl are still together. I don't know if she knows. Maybe she don't give a look. I don't know. But more of the story, see your man on TikTok, see if you got a burner page. No, I'm playing. I want to make a part 2 if y'all like this one. Just kind of going over some of the red flags, because y'all, there were most definitely red flags. And I want to save my girls. Like, this is unacceptable. Bye.
I now like know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And he's a straight guy?
Hmm?
Well, he's not a straight guy.
Yeah.
But he's DL?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know? He told you?
Yeah.
What did he tell you?
When I got in the car with him, like he turned my phone off. He was really scared.
He turned your phone off?
Yeah.
But what'd he say?
He was like, because I feel like if I tell this, he's gonna know that.
He's gonna know, but nobody else is gonna know.
Yeah.
He's not even gonna see this.
Yeah, exactly. Let's pray he doesn't see this. But
He's
he was
not.
like, I would hate for anything to happen to you if you tell anyone.
What?
Yes, it's serious. It's serious. Yeah.
So you don't even know each other. You just seen each other.
We've seen each other. Now I know like who he is.
But you don't talk to him. It's just
daily?
like a sexual relationship?
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you get out of it?
Oh my God.
Like a thrill?
A thrill. Money, shoes, sometimes.
Money?
Yeah.
He pays you? Is that like a spoken thing or unspoken?
Unspoken.
Like, how does he pay you?
He just does.
How?
Cash.
Cash?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
How I found out my boyfriend was on the down low was he tried to take me to a swingers club, and I was like, I'm not going in there. He actually had a membership to this place, and I asked him, you know, have you ever been with men or anything? He said, no, I've only been with couples. But like, have a man ever touched you? Have you ever engaged in any kind of activity with a man? He was like, no, I just been with couples. And so he was kind of vague about it. So I asked him, I said, how would you feel if you ever caught me with another man? What would you do? Do you know what he said? He was like, I wouldn't do anything. I would join. You would just join us? This is somebody I've been with in a relationship for over a year. He said he was straight, supposed to be monogamous, but the entire time of us being together for over a year, he had been cheating on me at swingers club and had been with both men and women. And he finally came out later as bisexual.
Wow.
So I was talking to someone who I had suspicions that he was down low, gay, right? Because he kept talking about how he thinks one of his best friends is gay, and he's like obsessed with this topic of conversation. And I find it weird that you're obsessed with your friend's sexuality. That's already awkward, and you constantly talk about how you think your best friend is down low gay or bisexual. It's weird. Like, so that's already a red flag. Any man that is obsessed with another man's sexuality, red flag. No straight man is going to be obsessed with another man's sexuality, especially not his. And he'd always refer to his boy as like good looking, or yo, you get the looks, you can do this, you can do that. So I get it. You have a crush on your boy. Like you're like you're gay for your bro. You want him to be gay. You want him to be bisexual. And you probably know he's down low because maybe you guys did something before. I don't know. Maybe this is your way of dry snitching, because you know how some people like narcissists and psychopaths like to dry snitch on themselves. They kind of like to tell on themselves without telling on themselves, if that makes sense. It's like they're hiding so much stuff, but they almost want you to know. So it's like you were like hinting something at them. So then I said, you're just down low gay. You like him. Now mind you, he let this same bro in the house live with him. This is the same bro that he thinks is down low gay. And he's very homophobic. And he says, oh, they need to fight that shit. When they're around me, you can't fight your sexuality. So I said to him, you know, you can't fight being gay or bisexual. You can't fight it. And he didn't even bat an eye. He was just like, well, people need to fight it. I'm like, are you fighting it? And he was like, no, I get pussy in and out this door. I get pussy all the time. Now, let me tell you something.
Excuse the language, you guys.
That was definitely an answer of someone who is down low gay. And let me tell you why. I know a lot of down low gay guys. I even dated one. And they overcompensate being down low gay by getting a lot of pussy. Down low gay men will actually be more womanizers than straight men. Why is that? Because they have something to prove. They have to prove or fight that they're not gay or bisexual. They have to prove that they're heterosexual, and they're overcompensating. Because getting a lot of pussy doesn't mean you're not down low gay. Doesn't mean you're not bisexual. And saying I get tons of pussy as a response to someone asking if you're fighting your bisexuality or homosexuality in the closet, that's not a good answer. Because everyone knows there's gay guys and bisexual men who have children.
But their recklessness also always exposes what they're doing behind closed doors.
Hold on.
and it could cost you your life if you're not careful.
Yeah, these girls need to wake
I
up.
want to tell y'all, if you feel that your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend are secretly closeted or living any type of hidden lifestyle, you need to follow your intuition. Don't sit around and wait for the disaster to happen, because the disaster will happen if you stick around. Trust your intuition. And I also want to add that when people are living hidden lifestyles, they tend to be more reckless. They tend to not have as much care because they think it won't be found. But their recklessness also always exposes what they're doing behind closed doors. And it could cost you your life if you're not careful. Pay attention to these people with their inappropriate relationships with their friends, y'all.
Hmm.
So I'm going to tell y'all my story. I used to date this dude way back in the day, and during the time that I was dating him, I did not have a car. So he had a friend that I had never met before come and get me to give me a ride. Where the place that he was giving me a ride was at, I could not take my phone inside. So I left my phone in that person's car because they were also going to give me a ride back home. Y'all, tell me why when I was inside of that damn place, this person went through my phone. Keep in mind, I've never met this person before. I do not know them. They went through my phone and they told my boyfriend everything that they found in my phone. So I asked my boyfriend, "Did you have this crazy dude go through my phone?" And he was like, "No, I didn't. He just said he wanted to do it just to make sure that I was loyal, that you was loyal to me or whatever." And I was like, "Why in the hell would he care if I'm being loyal to you to that extent? That is crazy." But I said, "You know what? I guess whatever. I feel violated, but whatever." So some years fly by, and my boyfriend got put in a position where he needed some new clothes. Well, this same homeboy took him on a shopping spree while I was there. And I found it very odd that when he was taking him shopping, he was giving me real nasty looks and cold shoulder. Like I speak to him, he didn't speak back, and he was just looking at me like, ugh. And I thought it was strange because this guy that I was with, I absolutely loved him so much. Like I adored him. And being honest, I would have did anything for that man. So I was like, I don't treat this man bad. So why would his friend be weird to me like that? But okay. So while he's shopping and buying my man all this stuff, he didn't everything to himself. So they had matching jackets, matching shoes, matching everything. And at the age that we was at,
Hello.
it was very strange for this to be taking place. Like this is super weird. And I also thought it was strange because I'm a very hospitable person. If you balling out on somebody and they got somebody else with them, even if you don't buy them something expensive, offer them some food, offer them something to drink. He didn't offer me food, nothing to drink. He's just letting me tag along while they just balling out through the mall, getting matching clothes. It was really weird. So time goes on. Me and my boyfriend, we would always go on dates. That was our thing. So every time we would go on a date, this dude would want to tag along. And I used to be like, this is crazy. This dude cannot tag along while we having me and you time. It's just not happening. So it was weird. So I said, you know, the next day, if he say something about wanting to come, I'ma let him come. Tell my boyfriend he can come. So, well, the time came and the dude came on a date. Y'all, I kid you not. While we on this date, the dude comes and he brings a chick. He's sitting across the table looking at my man with like the googly and love eyes.
Mm-mm.
Like it couldn't be denied, y'all. It couldn't be denied. And I noticed my man just kept looking down. He wouldn't look get a guy eye contact. He wouldn't give the guy, barely talking to him. And the guy just talking about, man, this is my brother. I just love him, man. I just love him. And just talking about how much you care about him. And I was like, this is weird, but okay, maybe I'm in my head. Me and the guy's date, we just kind of looking at each other like, this is weird. So a couple days go by, and my man's phone is ringing off the hook. And it's about 10:30 at night. And during this time, all activities of that nature is shut down. But at the time, being honest, me and my dude, we was in the game. So if it was about some money, we would tend to it. But if it wasn't, then it was over with. But it was just his homeboy calling. The dude called probably like 20 times back to back. And my man would not answer the phone. And I'm like, why are you not answering the phone? Something must be wrong with your dude. You need to go make sure your friend's straight. You're like, man, that nigga don't want nothing. It's all good, whatever. You know, I'm with you, baby. We booed up, whatever. So my man ended up going in the other room to do something, but he left his phone on the nightstand. So the dude is still calling at this point. At this point, it's been like 30 or 40 minutes of this dude just calling and calling and calling. I answered the phone because I just knew this is a chick on this phone and he got it under his homeboy's number and he trying to play me. Y'all, lo and behold, it really was his homeboy. So I'm like, I'm gonna have him call you back whenever he get back in the room. And the homeboy like, had a little stank attitude, but I'm like, whatever. So something told me to look through that man's text messages, y'all. When I looked through that man's text messages, his friend had texted him about 8 paragraphs, just telling him how much he loved him, how much he cared for him, talking about remember the time, remember the places we went. He can't believe he got a family now. He just in disbelief. He just love him, just want to be around him, professing his love. I had never seen platonic friends speak to each other in that way. And so when my boyfriend come back in the room, I'm like, why is your friend saying this stuff to you? Why is he calling you like this? What is up with this? This is crazy. And he was like, man, this is how friends talk. You must don't got no real friends if they don't tell you they love you like this. I have a best friend. We've been best friends for 20 years. And we tell each other we love each other all the time, but we do not express our love in that way. And I am a fan of male friends telling each other that they love each other. But y'all, this was not no normal, man, I love you, bro, and I got your back. It was like
let's say another one. This is the daughters of Zion crying
Whether
out.
you're living with him, y'all are engaged to be married, y'all just living together, y'all
These are women talking about it, crying out, the daughters of Zion, video after video, and there's a lot on YouTube. All these women are talking about these experiences they're having with these men. Now, I done did many videos about how the men are killing the daughters of Zion, taking them out. Now, this is just a
cover up. He can't stand you, and he's very jealous of you because he's fighting inner demons. He's mad that he can't come out the closet the way that he wants to. So you will be, because he is struggling with his identity. He targeted you and he chose you because you are going to help him clean up his identity. You're going to help him with his fake facade. See, he wants the community and his family and friends to believe that he married a gorgeous woman. You're super successful. It has nothing to do with love and totally about his image and tricking people and deflecting off the fact that he's a closeted homosexual. But what's going to happen within that marriage? He's going to bully and punish you. Whether you're living with him, y'all are engaged to be married, y'all just living together, y'all whatever the situation is, he's going to bully you in that relationship because number one, he's envious of you. You are an actual woman. You got boobs. You got a nice booty. You got coochie. You're dressed fly. You look good. And when you walk into the room, you're going to get the attention of men. He wants the same attention as you from men. And because he can't come out the closet and live in his truth, you'll be bullied and punished for that. Number two, he spends a lot of time with one specific homeboy. I mean, he spends a lot of time with this homeboy. They always run in the streets together. He's got a whole woman at home. Y'all are married, y'all are engaged, y'all are living together. Why is he spending more time with his homeboy running the streets than he does with you? That's because they're fucking. Yeah, they're fucking. I said what I said. Do the investigation and come back and thank me later. No man is supposed to spend too much time with his homeboy. and he got a whole woman at home. He's more loyal to his homeboy than he is to you because they're lovers. Number 3, pay attention to the way that he makes love to you, the way that he handles you. He's going to handle you like a man. And you're going to notice that the sex is going to become robotic. Ain't nothing wrong with a little rough sex here and there, but he's going to handle you like a man. He's going to be robotic with it. There's going to be an emotional disconnect. You got to pay attention to the pattern. He's been with the man and he wants to go back to being with a man, and he does not enjoy sleeping with you. You can tell it and you can feel it. You got to pay attention.
Now, someone has screenshotted some information from her Facebook page before it got taken down. Now, his wife at the time had been on that "Whose Man Is This" page from the Grand Rapids area. Basically, there's a Facebook page that you can see if you're dating the same guy. Now, you would think that she would do it before she got married, but nonetheless, maybe she had some sneaky suspicions about him, and that's what prompted her to go look for that page. Now, the person states in the screenshot, and you could pause to read it, that when she posted her husband's picture in there, a bunch of men had been stating that they had had affairs with him. Another person had corroborated it and said that she had went live on Facebook before she removed her page, basically exposed all of it and everything that she had found on that "Is This Your Man's" Grand Rapids edition. Now, before Marcus had scrubbed his Facebook page clean, he had posted this on June 21st and said, "I am a narcissist, #good morning." Maybe him and his wife had got into it, and she had maybe made this quote to him, or maybe he was doing it as an off-color joke, but nonetheless, someone was able to screenshot this before he scrubbed his page clean. Now, here's the update, and it was updated about 6 hours ago. It says a Grand Rapids man allegedly told the police that he had shot his wife multiple times the day after she had served him with divorce papers. Now, it's likely she did the live stream first and then, talked it out with her friends and girlfriends and then served him the divorce papers. It said the couple had been married just in February, and Marcus was arraigned on Friday, August 18th on charges of open murder and felony firearms, and he is held in jail without a bond. Now, after the incident, officers said that they had identified him because he had just been walking off. So I guess he did the deed and walked down the street for air. I don't know. Now, when detectives interviewed Marcus, he told them that his wife, they married in February, and that she had served him divorce papers the day before, and she had told him that she was selling the house. Now, mind you, back in February, he had a domestic violence charge against him, against his wife, and he wasn't even supposed to be in contact with her, but lo and behold, he made his way back to the house. Now, Marcus then told detectives that they were arguing, and then he grabbed Alicia's, which is right here, from the drawer and tried to strike her with it. So I guess to whip her. Now, according to the affidavit, he told the officers that it had went off, and his wife then moved to the bedroom and locked the door. Marcus then told detectives that he had forced the door open and that his wife tried to climb out the window. And then he had admitted to unaliving her and shooting her multiple times before he fled the scene in his maroon SUV. Now, here's this other footnote. It says, according to social media, a page that is used to expose XY's men in the Grand Rapids area who are on the down low, posted a video of the suspect engaged in acts with another man. It's alleged that his wife had saw the video and then posted it on her personal page before taking it down, which has been deleted. Allegedly, the suspect is the one who deleted the page and then went further to unalive his estranged wife. Now, he's scheduled back in court on September 5th for a preliminary exam. And on September 5th, I'll keep you guys posted on what that preliminary exam consists of. But this story is so sad.
Right, y'all. BZ was a year older than me, so BZ was a sophomore. So BZ was from my city, and he just transferred schools or whatever. I guess he moved. I don't really remember if he moved or not. I don't remember. But mind you, my city is pretty small. It was like 4 or 5 high schools. So everybody knew everybody, or everybody knew somebody who knew somebody at other schools. So BZ transfers to my school, and this was not like a serious relationship either. Like, me and BZ probably was together like 3 months max. But he had been to my house a couple times, and my mom had no problem with him coming to my house. But my mom told me all the time, my mom was like, "That boy's gay." And I was like, "No, he's not gay." My mom was like, "No, that boy's gay." And my man, like, I think I'm grown. It's like my first like boyfriend, I guess you could say. But I'm like, my man, like, he's like, my man. So set the scene again. It's high school, like every high school, like in the morning has like a common area where everybody meets. So I meet BZ that morning, and he's walking me to my first period class. My first period class was dance. BZ's class, I think, was like down the hallway or something like that. I don't remember. But so BZ walks me to class, and then let me introduce another character, Greg. Greg was an upperclassman gay boy. I think Greg was either in 10th grade or 11th at the time. I don't really remember what grade Greg was in. But Greg is this gay boy that like is in dance. But he wasn't in my class, but he was just like in dance like all the time. He was always in the dance room when I had class. So BZ stops me at the door, like we talking, chit chat, whatever. Greg peeps it, looks at me, and I come into class. I'm not like thinking nothing of it. Like I changed for dance. I come out. Greg's like, "Is BZ your boyfriend?" And I'm like, "Yo, why?" And then he's like, "Oh," and it threw me off because I'm like, "What you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Oh, like first of all, Greg, why is you doing all this?" Oh. And then y'all, it only bothered me because there was a rumor going around that the reason my boyfriend had transferred schools was because he had been caught texting this other gay boy, and we're gonna call the other gay boy Vaughn. So I had heard the rumor through the grapevine from my friend that went to his old school, and he was like, "Yeah, your boyfriend's gay." Like, and he had been telling me that for like 2 weeks at this point, and he was like, "Yeah, your boyfriend's gay." Blah blah blah, and I'm like, no, he's not. He's like, yeah, he was texting Vaughn, and like Vaughn was like one of like the first out there gay boys in my city, like in high school. So
wait a minute, her mother telling her that the boy is gay. Then she going to school and know everybody's telling her the boy is gay. She just in straight denial. Don't want to
I was like, why would he be texting Vaughn? Like, what do you text? What do you mean like texting Vaughn? He was like, yeah, they was linking and somebody like they was texting, they was linking, like he was going to Vaughn house all this and the third. And I'm like, why did you go? Like, okay, I'm giving them the benefit of that. Like, maybe they're just friends. My stupid ass. Then Greg comes up to me. Greg is a gay boy, saying like, oh, why is that? Like, at this point, I'm nervous.
To tell my family.
Sure, you nervous.
Called my older brother, and he insisted. He's like, Bridget, what is going on? You have to tell me now.
That would be you.
That would be Lee. Okay. And I told him what was going on. He's like, Bridget, he's like, as soon as you get off the phone, I want you to ask him this question. You ask him, how many men have you had sex with?
So did you do that?
I did.
You then went home and said to your husband, how many men have you had sex with? What did he say?
He said 2. And I said, oh, really? Now, when were you going to tell me that? And what were their names? What was the relationship? Was it just like in passing? Did you have a relationship with them? And he had a relationship with them. I'm like, how long were these relationships? Who are they? Where are they? Mm-hmm.
You went online or found his computer?
Oh, no, my goodness.
Down the history, and there were these men looking for men websites, cruising for men websites. And I went and clicked on the websites, and I was speechless. And I was like, Lee, what is this? And we went and looked, and then we went into the cache file and found all of these emails.
Yeah.
That would blow your mind if you saw them.
Well, I did see them.
Well, you saw them?
Yeah, I did see them. And
okay.
My mind was a little blown.
Yeah.
Last night with my producers, we were going through some of the things, and I read just a few of those emails. And I got to tell you, that is some vile stuff that was going on there. To the point where I said to the producer, I do.
All right. There's another one.
Okay, back.
Let me see. Oh my gosh. So his story time of when I got caught with my DL in his baby mama crib, part 1. Oh my God, what? So this is all this is going to be. Hold on, let's see what this goes.
Hey, I don't got nothing to do with this. You, like, you, no, like, no, you, I'm just going. What the fuck? 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 Oh my fucking God.
Let me take that off.
Put your shirt on.
forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And follow me on IG and
Okay, that's
TikTok.
the
I do
end of
funny
that.
content here.
Okay, now let's talk. So, I mean, and this is just one video, one random video, but there's so many on there where these women are crying out, mainly the daughters of Zion, crying out about these down low men, these men who are having relations with other men throughout the United States. I mean, we know that this stuff goes on a lot of places, but it ain't nothing like Babylon with this wickedness, sorcery, with these men under subjection, carrying out this behavior. And the thing with me is that like, why do I got to bring this stuff out? But I know I have to because it's mum's the word. Nobody's going to talk about it. And especially our Hebrew men who are supposed to be prophesying on Nineveh, like Jonah. They're supposed to be out and about, wearing people out with the wickedness and the unrighteousness that's going on throughout the United States and above. This is the prophecy. It's the sign of the coming of Christ. He said the only sign you're going to get is the sign of Jonah, where the men are supposed to be standing up, crying out about the wickedness perpetrated throughout the earth. Right? I mean, is it me? But yet, I mean, there are some brothers prophesying this and this and that, but they are not talking about these atrocities. This isn't an epidemic with these men having relationships with other men. The transgender thing, it's an epidemic, and people are just walking around like this is okay. And what bothers me is that they got still all these men on internet talking about women. The problem is women. Every channel you go with these brothers complaining about the daughters of Zion, when all this wickedness is going around with these men. Wickedness, y'all. If they not killing the daughters of Zion, just shooting them and killing them. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. Unaliving them. Excuse me. If they're not just straight up unaliving the daughters of Zion, then they're doing this. They're degrading them. They're making them feel like the worst human beings on earth. And then they're being used to take them down when all this wickedness is going on. And nobody ain't saying nothing about it. At least I don't hear it. And I'm on the internet. I'm looking and seeing and, reporting news. And ain't nobody talking about this. Then you got all these fey-fays, we calling them fey-fays, or very feminine men, all on the talk shows. They giving their opinions. It's just a bunch of wickedness. And then the righteous mum's the word from the righteous. Ain't nobody talking about it. They just trying to act like it's normal, and then they want to focus on women. I just like, well, what is going on here? I mean, I know it's me. It's Sister Connor. She's the problem. I know. But I'm going to point it out. It's horrific with these men, with what they're doing. And the ones who's supposed to even be talking about it, the fact that they won't even bring it up. They try to act like everything else is more important. Week after week after week, you got to hear about how wicked women are. Every week. I mean, there must be more things to talk about. So I'm going to bring it out. Because unless these men get straightened out, and nothing is going to move. It don't matter how righteous the daughters of Zion be. Bad enough, there's a shortage of men. Just bad enough, it's a shortage of men anyway. But this is taking up, this why there's no men. This is the reason between incarcerating them, between the DL situation, between they unaliving the daughters of Zion, between them going to other races and other nations. This is why there's no men. And then you want to talk about, you want to tell the daughters of Zion what they need to do to get a man. It's like ludicrous. They're going to instruct you on how to get a man when all the men are just running amok, doing whatever abomination. Just choose an abomination. Which abomination club are you a part of? Because there's always some kind of abomination that our people, Judah, in the neck of his enemy, is dealing with. And none of these men seem to want to bring this out and talk this out. They don't want to go to these inner cities with all this wickedness going on and prophesy like our forefathers had to do. Go to the Mecca of Atlanta with all that sin and wickedness going on and prophesy there. Instead of going there having parties and feast days and partying. Why don't you go do a summit for these down low men? Hold on, let me see. Since you said unaliven them, especially when they are saying, "I rebuke you in the name." Praise God. Yeah, I mean, they down like trying to cast out demons in their face, and they will unalive them. Yes, they realizing they on the down low. They calling them out, and then they take them out. It's straight wickedness, and no one wants to bring it up. No one wants to talk about it. We're supposed to have righteous men who's supposed to be speaking up for the widow and the childless, the fatherless. This is what the prophets and the men of the Most High are supposed to be doing. Instead of beating the daughters down to the ground with a hamlet, just boom, 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 boom. Instead of beating them down, you're supposed to be protecting them. That's what the scripture says. The widows and the fatherless, they're supposed to protect the women and not take them to the mill with all this wickedness going on with these men. There's no summit to bring these men together and get them right with the Most High and bring them back to the Most High. Instead, you want to cover their wickedness. This is sin, covering their wickedness and try to act like, oh, they're not doing nothing wrong. It's straight wickedness. And it has to be spoken about. You have to stand up and speak about it and stop letting these people get away with this wickedness. It's straight wickedness. Especially in the cities, these men are not. I mean, I don't know what do you think? You're gonna wake up the daughters of Zion? That's all this is about? Waking up the daughters of Zion? And we're supposed to be the flock are men. The flock are men. So why not focus on all this wickedness from day to day to day to day? All this wickedness, and all you got to do is worry about the daughters of Zion? Really? It's just unbelievable. You know, I feel like I'm in the Matrix. Like, what is going on here? Why are people just allowing this? Going along, and sisters be like, yeah, praise AHAYAH, our brothers standing up. Because they don't want to talk to one another. They might have to fight. Because these brothers are so rebellious, you can't say nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing they can do is just focus on the women. Let me just focus on the women. Because if I say something to him, he might say something back. So that's the easy route, to beat down women instead of standing up like a man and dealing with other men. No. Can't do that. So I got another video. And this is a brother. Just to hear it from another brother talking about the wickedness in our communities, and these brothers are disallowing it. I mean, the prophesying on the street is good. Praise AHAYAH. If we could get some prophesying on the street, because they don't want to even do that no more. They're too afraid to go out and stand and talk to the people like they're supposed to be doing all summer long. They were talking about, we going out on the street. It ain't nothing. Go prophesy on Nineveh. That's the sign of Jonah. That's what the Most High said. That's the sign. We should see these men prophesying and speaking about what's going on. not just the 12 tribe chart. You're supposed to be rebuking this wickedness that's going on in the earth. It's a lot of sin going on, a lot of wickedness going on. Opposed to just talking about the daughters of Zion, and they're using the daughters of Zion to take you down. No, there's a whole lot of other stuff that y'all are doing. I mean, we're not even going to talk about the sin and the fornication, because I brought that out too. A lot of sin, messing around with other people's wives and all kind of foolishness. But now we're talking about the men on men. These men are on downloads. They're lying. The daughters of Zion are crying out, making videos. Their husband is messing around with other men. It's horrible. These daughters of Zion need to stop going for the okie doke. Get out of Babylon. That is the point. People are holding you still, beating you down, making you feel bad, trying to beat you into submission. It's ridiculous. Get out of Babylon, sisters. And listen, because we're going to go into the news of what's going on. And, you know, this war is about to ramp up really fast and really hard, brothers and sisters. Y'all better get up out of there. You know the prophecy. Babylon is going to be destroyed. That is the main event. I know it's starting in the Middle East, and I know it's going to be really muster up a whole lot of faith to come into this region, because the Most High said this is where he will protect his people. You got to have some faith, brothers and sisters. Jordan is the safe place. You got to figure it out. Hold on. So now, let's go with this brother. Here he goes. Try to listen as much as you can, but he's telling it. He's being honest. Okay.
Hey, what's going on? Before I begin, I just want to put this out. I know some of y'all are going to be like, yo, man, you've been doing quite a few videos in Atlanta. You know, when you going to let off? It's a black city. You know what I'm saying? You know, black people are out down there doing positive things, productive things. You know, they're successful, this and that and so forth. And I'm going to tell you, yo, I'm never going to let off of Atlanta. You want to know why? Because y'all keep on moving down there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep on calling it the Black Mecca, the Black Hollywood. Y'all think that once you get down there that it's going to be this way and that way because it's a black city. You know, being that it's a black city, that it's going to cater towards black people. You know what I mean? And that you're going to be able to live all your hopes and dreams. You know, when you go to sleep, you start thinking that you're a millionaire. You start believing, you know, that you're going to, you know, be this big actor, this big singer, this rapping, all the rest of that stuff. Nah, that's not going to happen. You understand? For those that want to say, well, you know, you're bitter because you went down there in Atlanta and you failed, you ain't had no money, you was broke, this and that, so forth. Let me tell you something. For real, this is my word. I've lived on this planet for quite some time. And family members and friends will tell you, out of all my life, I've worked a conventional job, a 9-to-5, where I had to answer to someone when I had a boss for probably the total of 2 years. So in other words, when I was living down there in Atlanta for close to 3 years, I never had a job. I had money. You understand? I worked. I worked for myself. You understand? I had a certain amount of money that I made. I had a lifestyle that I had and still continue to have. You understand? So I'm not bitter because I went down there and failed. I'm upset because I went down there under the notion that I was moving to a black city. And it was way different. It was going to be way different from the cities that I've lived in the past, such as Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, Long Island, Glen Cove, Long Island, Brooklyn, New York, Jamaica, Queens. I just knew that Atlanta was going to be that place where I was going to be able to prosper because I was going to be amongst my people. And I was sadly mistaken when I got down there. You understand? So I'm not bitter. I'm really upset. I'm disappointed, you know, in a city that has so much potential to be great. Don't get it twisted. It could be a so-called Wakanda. You understand? It can be a so-called Black Mecca. It could be something, a city where Black people can actually thrive. I mean, not just your high, astute, you know, class of people. No, we talking about all classes. High class, middle class, and low. You understand? But that's not what I got when I got down there. Got a lot of pain, suffering. I saw it on the faces of these same Black people that we all talk about, you know, that all these Black people that are in Atlanta and they're doing great. And then, it's just a small amount of people that's doing great. And those small amount of people are those bougie, those Black bourgeois, you know what I'm saying, boule, Black people that are willing to step on any and everyone's toes. That's real talk. See, here on this channel, I'm gonna be real. So it's those same boule bourgeois, you know what I'm saying? Boule means advisor to the king. Those same boule bourgeois uppity Negroes that learn from the slave master how to suppress their own kind. That's who's getting it down there. And that's the reality. That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's clicked up. You have if you're not part of a sorority or a fraternity, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If you're not a Mason, it's a wrap. Now tell me, all you Atlanteans or people that live in Atlanta or in a metro Atlanta, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. So on today's video, we're going to build on relationships. I'm talking about women and men. And let me tell you something. If you plan on moving to Atlanta with your girl or with your man, it's going to be a big, big, big mistake. Because Atlanta is a city that's made for single people. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being real. It's tailored as of now. Well, I'm not going to say as of now because people seem to they seem to forget, or they don't realize that Atlanta it's been freaky like that. This is nothing new. This is not transplants moving in and changing things around and in that aspect. Has been. This is nothing new. You know, we could talk about Freaknik. Want to? You really want to? How they had women were twerking on top of cars in downtown Atlanta, pussies out and all of that. Straight up. If you want perversion, if you want if you're a freak, take your ass down there. And the only way that you can make it down there if you're in a relationship, if you're a swinger. And if you don't know what a swinger is, that means, you know, you go to, you know, you hand over your girl, or you hand over your dude. And this is something that, like, this is not like some deep dark secret. When you get down there, you'll feel that vibe. You'll feel that vibe. We all know that live there, that used to live there, and people that still continue to live there. We all know about the sex orgy parties. We all know about that. Now, true indeed, you know, it's not like, oh, you could just walk into a mansion and da-da-da-da-da. You have to be invited. And being invited, you got to be in an in crowd. They got to know this is how you are. Other than that, they got they got orgy parties going on in Atlanta. Multiple of ones. Matter of fact, to be real with you, I'm not even making this up. I got a flyer of a sex orgy party. Straight up. So you thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna go down there with my girl. Nah, you sadly mistaken, because your girl or your guy might get turned out. Straight up. And speaking of getting turned out, let's not talk about the guys that's on the DL. You know what I'm saying? They like Clark Clint. You know, they go into the phone booth. They heterosexual, you know, in the morning, and then they go into the phone booth and change. You know, like how Superman is, and they go into the phone booth at night and change and come out homosexual. Straight up. And that's real talk. So you going down there, you thinking your man is heterosexual. He's saying he going out with the boys and doing this and doing that. Next thing you know, you find out he's on the DL, the down low. And the gay men down there don't have no problem with exposing heterosexual men. Matter of fact, they get a kick out of it. Straight up, I've seen several videos where these gay men, you know, talk about how, you know, they turned your man out. But you can't blame it. How could you blame them, women? How could you blame them? Because you accepted them in your circle. And it's crazy because women, the ratio down there is 18-1. Excuse me, 18-1. That means it's 18, every one man is 18 women. So you complaining about how there's no good man, and you know, men are either in jail, dead, strung out, deadbeat dads, etc. But you befriending a gay guy that's your competition. He's chasing after the same man that you're chasing after. And that's real talk.
At Booking.com, we're more than just hotels, we're tree houses. Book your unique stay today on Booking.com.
That's real talk. All these women got BBLs, fake eyelashes. I'm talking about across the board. This is normal. Fake eyelashes, fake asses, fake tits, pounds of makeup. I'm not making this up. Straight up. Go figure. I'm not making this, no pun intended. I'm not making this up. Straight up. Pounds of makeup. And you see them every day. Yellow, red, pink hair. Movie with Halle Berry first came out called Baps. That's exactly how these women look. In the very beginning of the movie. Not when, you know, they cleaned her up and all of that stuff and she started looking, I guess, you know, sophisticated. I never knew Atlanta was like this, man. Never. Never, ever, ever, ever. And I've been to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? But to go down there and see the type of fuckery that I saw, it was just amazing to me. And I'm talking about fancy restaurants these broads be at. Straight up. And everybody's looking for a come up, especially the women. You got women down there, got fake this, fake that, you know, but at the same time, they got fake this, fake that, cost thousands upon thousands of dollars to get, you know, these surgeries to enhance their looks. You thinking, oh, you know, she spent this, she spent that. Nah, she probably got it off of some drug dealer or some dude that hooked her up with it. And if she didn't get it from that, people don't even realize Medicaid covers that. Straight up. Medicaid covers some of the plastic surgery. This is the reason why you see a whole lot of black women, just being real, black women getting plastic surgery these days. Because Medicaid covers it. I've done the research. That's a fact. If you don't believe me, check it out. I'm saying Medicaid may not cover everything, but they cover some of the plastic surgery, as well as if you're getting your, just being real, your penis removed, you know, you're transitioning into, if you're a woman transitioning into a man, or if you're man transitioning into a woman. If you don't believe me, check it out. Because some of y'all think that I'm lying about this stuff. But they broke, you know what I'm saying? They IG my Nah, get the hell out of here. You an extra. That's what you are. Straight up. When I was down there, I had a female put me on to all of the movie productions or whatever have you on Facebook, where you can, sign up to be an extra. But you have to fit the description. You know what I'm saying? If they're looking for, like, say, for example, they look for a tall black man with a bald head, medium built, hey, you get the job. But they're basically minimum wage, like $12.15 an hour, and they treat you like shit on a set. But let a man that's from Atlanta, that's living in Atlanta, or a woman that's an aspiring model, whatever, overall, or a woman, let them tell you, oh, they've been in big movies, these commercials, you was an extra. That's all you were. That's all you were. You got paid just like anybody else would get paid on a regular job. And you got to bust your ass to work yourself up to getting like a part, like not a main part in a movie, just a regular part. Like opening the door for someone in a movie and them saying thanks and you're saying you're welcome, sir. You got to bust your ass to get to that point. People don't even realize it. These women are out there broke as shit, want to be models and IG models and all the rest of that shit. Broke as shit, sleeping on futons, air beds, on the floor. I've seen it, heard it. I've heard it and seen it all. These same women can't afford to feed themselves. So they got to go out on dates just to get fed. That's a hustle down there. You take your ass down there wanting to get in a relationship. You take your ass down there with your female, your significant other, your husband, your fiance. And I can get, because Atlanta will swallow you up whole. And I've been a victim to it to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is the mentality. The mentality. When you get down there, man, this is my story. And it wasn't none of that homosexual stuff, none of that chasing after women. It was chasing after the quote unquote bag. I had to get the money. And I lost interest in my own family because I was so focused on the money. Now, some people may say, well, man, shit, you could go anywhere, like, in, let's say, New York, Houston, Dallas, New York City, Miami, and it's about the money. Everybody's chasing after the bag. Yes, true indeed, but when you go down to Atlanta, you thinking it's a black city, you thinking that it's kind of balanced out. Being that it's a black supposedly southern wholesome city. You're thinking it's balanced out. It's more so like family and black culture and black love. No, it's about getting that money because that's the only thing that black people appreciate down there. Straight up. The only people that they appreciate down there are the people that got bread. And part of the reason why they appreciate those people that got bread is so that they could be able to utilize them or use them. That's real talk. And I almost lost my family chasing after that bag. I had to gather myself. And I had to get the hell out of that hellhole. And once I moved back to Charlotte, everything became clear. And that's real talk. As soon as I got back, everything changed and started getting better for me. My vibe changed and all of that. I almost lost the mother of my children at Northside Hospital. Yeah. I know Atlanta pretty well. You know what I'm saying? She had to go to Grady to I'm not gonna go into detail or whatever, but she had to be treated at Grady Hospital. Yeah, all you Grady babies. Yes, I know Atlanta pretty well. Quite well. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, you want to go down there and let's just say you single and you want to go down there and get into a relationship. Oh, please. Please. Atlanta's a young city, man. There's a whole lot of young people down there that's young, and I'm just as the saying goes, young and full of cum. Everybody's fucking down there, and the AIDS epidemic is ridiculous. Y'all just don't understand, man. Y'all just don't understand. Because when you're living in other cities and other states, you don't get to look at the local news in Atlanta. You know, they had like trailers. I don't know if they still have these trailers anymore, but they had like extended trailers like outside of Grady Hospital treating AIDS patients and getting AIDS tests, because that's how big it is down there. The CDC is right down the street in Brookhaven, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, for all you Atlanteans or people that live in Metro Atlanta. I know Atlanta quite well. I looked at the news every day. Every day. They had extra trailers like you know, the virus. The other virus that we just, because I don't want to name it. I don't want YouTube to ding me and everything. So you know that other virus that we just got over. That epidemic, pandemic.
I said, I just want to give this perspective, because everybody try to act like this ain't going on when it's clearly an epidemic going on in our community. This is a brother giving his side of the story, you know, but it's just there. It's happening. And it's our men who are in trouble. And they're perpetrating this, you know, epidemic among our people. Because they're so out of control, it's not going to change anything until the men get in order. And I know that there's some sin, you know, some people just ain't going to make it, granted. But if this whole thing is supposed to be about prophesying and waking up the people, then when are we going to start focusing on the stuff that really, really matters? Our people are still walking around like the Valley of Dry Bones, and they're not waking up. And they're not being awakened, and they're not addressing the issues that, you know, are plaguing our communities. It's an epidemic with these men, with these down low men, the transgender situation, the LGBT. All of this is an abomination to AHAYAH. We have to get ourselves together, and our men have to get themselves in order. And beating up women with these other situations is not helping. And you're going to have to start speaking up and letting people know, no. Well, what about this? Well, what about this? When is there going to be some change? These are our people, and these are the situations that's plaguing our communities. With our men are in these fey relationships. This is why the daughters of Zion, they ain't got no man. So it's hard to beat up a daughter of Zion and tell her how good she needs to be and how righteous she needs to be when there is no brothers there. What, you want them to look at themselves? Just stand around looking at each other? Why not get with these men? It's a shortage enough. Women are outnumbering men anyway. So have this in jail population. They ain't going into the prison speaking to these brothers. What, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. Listen, I just thought I'll bring it out, and we can go into a little bit of scripture. Let's go into Jonah and why he had to go prophesy on Nineveh, because it was of the wickedness. This is the sign that we're supposed to see in this day. The sign of Jonah. This is what we're supposed to be seeing. I'm not going to read a lot. I'm just going to go into it. Because it's like these brothers are acting like Jonah. They don't want to focus on what what's plaguing for the Most High. They just want to point out Esau, which is good. Okay, we got that. I'm not saying that they don't need to hear about Esau, but to be always blaming Esau for everything. Or now the Esau is sending out the women and they're using the women against them, and everything is the problem except Judah. Supposed to be standing up, getting the other nations together, the other tribes. But you gotta, what's plaguing Judah? What's stopping Judah? All of this wickedness that Judah is participating in. It has to be addressed. You cannot just sweep this under the rug. How long are you going to sweep it under the rug and try to act like it's everybody else's fault? How long? This is why we will not have any men, because they're not trying to prophesy to them. They're not trying to, get them together and get their acts together, so they're going to perish. This is why the men will perish. This is why the women will have no husbands. This is why. Because there's so much wickedness going on in the house of Judah. Judah is the head tribe. They are responsible. Get yourselves together, brothers. You are the head tribe. You have to make the change. You have to bring this to attention, because all the tribes will follow you. So when you stand up and make a stand for AHAYAH regarding the mess that's being made, and stop blaming everybody else, and you get yourself together and you get these men together, then the other nations will be gladly follow you. But because Judah is in such a disarray, they can't even get themselves together, let alone the 12 tribes to follow them. It's a bunch of wickedness all around the board. So let me let's go read about it. Share my screen. Hold on. We're going into the scriptures. Let's go on into Judah. Into the book of Jonah, because it's the same thing. They running from it. They try to act like everything else is important instead of dealing with these men. Jonah flees the presence of AHAYAH. Now the word of AHAYAH came to Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, "Arise, go to Nineveh, the great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before AHAYAH." Same thing like Atlanta, or it's our people over there. You can't blame nobody for this. It's our people making poor choices and wicked choices against the Most High. It's an abomination. But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of AHAYAH, and went down to Joppa. And he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof and went down into it, and go with them into Tarshish from the presence of AHAYAH. It's just like these brothers. They want to do everything else. They want to party over here, go a party over there. They want to do a feast over here, do a feast. But they don't want to talk about what's an abomination to AHAYAH, AHAYAH, and raise up these men, and go into these prisons, and go into the into the highways and the Bible, and speak about the abomination of the black man on the DL, the abomination that they killing the daughters of Zion. The daughters of Zion is crying out, talking about DL men and all this stuff is going on. These daughters of Zion are crying out. Where is the help for the widow and the childless? Where are the men standing up for these women? And not just telling them, oh, you got to act this way. Oh, you want a man? This is what you need to do. Get these men in order first. These men are way out of order. It's nothing but wickedness. Hold on. But AHAYAH sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken. Then the mariners were afraid, and cried every man into his power, and cast forth the wares that in the ship into the sea. to lighten it of them. But Jonah was going down into the sides of the ship, and he lay and was fast asleep. This is like Judah, a lion crouched down, don't want to do nothing. This is what maybe the Most High talking about, with crouched down, dealing with homosexuality, femininity, crouched down like a woman. This is what Judah is dealing with. So the shipmaster came to him and said it to him, what meanest thou, O sleeper? Arise, call upon thy power, AHAYAH, if so be that AHAYAH will think upon us, that we perish not. So he had to wake Jonah up and tell him to please go call your power. Get back with your power. And they said, everyone to his fellow, come and let us cast lot, that we may know for whose cause this evil is upon us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. This is Judah. Judah is the problem. The men of the Most High, they got to get themselves together. He trying to run so that he don't have to do with the work of the Most High. And it's the same thing with these brothers today. They running and they got every other situation going on, but they don't want to address the issues at hand. Coming back to the Most High, getting these men together. This is the Most High's army. Then said they unto him, tell us, we pray thee, for who caused this evil is upon us? What is thine occupation, and whence comest thou? What is thy country, and what people art thou? They had to back him up in the corner to get the information out of him. And he said unto them, I am a Hebrew, and I fear AHAYAH, the power of heaven, which have made the sea and the dry land. Hold on. Then were the men exceedingly afraid and said unto him, why hast thou done this? For the men knew that he fled from the presence of AHAYAH, because he had told them. And they said unto him, what shall we do unto thee, that the sea may be calmed unto us? For the sea wrought and was tempest. And he said unto them, take me up and cast me forth into the sea. So shall the sea be calm unto you. For I know what my sake this great tempest is upon you. I know that for my sake this tempest is upon you. Nevertheless, the men rowed harder to bring it to the land, but they could not, for the sea wrought, and it was tempestuous against them. And when they cried unto AHAYAH, he said, wherefore they cried unto AHAYAH, and he said, we beseech thee, O AHAYAH, we beseech thee, let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us innocent blood, for thou, our AHAYAH, hast done as it pleased thee. So they took up Jonah and cast him forth into the sea. They threw him overboard because they didn't want that problem. They don't want to fight with the Most High. And the sea ceased from her raging. Then the men feared AHAYAH exceedingly and offered a sacrifice to AHAYAH and made vows. Praise AHAYAH B'Hashem Yashaya. Hold on. Listen. And they said, everyone to his fellow, come and let us cast. Oh, no, we did that one. I'm sorry. This one. Okay. The great fish swallowed Jonah. Now AHAYAH had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. And this is just like with Christ. This is given. And then Jonah prayed unto AHAYAH, his power, out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of my affliction unto AHAYAH, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell I cried, and thou heardest my voice. For thou hadst cast me into the deep, in the midst of the seas, and the floods compassed me about. All thy billows and thy waves passed over me. Then I said, I am cast out of thy sight, yet I will look again towards the holy temple. Now you want to look at towards the holy temple. The waters compass me about, even to the soul. and the depths closed me around about, and the weeds were wrapped about my head. I went down to the bottom of the mountains. The earth with her bars was about me forever. Yet hast thou brought up my life from corruption, O AHAYAH, my power. When my soul fainted within me, I remembered AHAYAH, and my prayer came in unto thee, unto thy holy temple. They that observe lying vanities forsake their own mercy. But I will sacrifice unto thee with the voice of thanksgiving. I will pay that I have vowed. Salvation is of the AHAYAH. And AHAYAH spoke unto the fish, and it vomited out Jonah unto the dry land. Right where he's supposed to prophesy. And the word of AHAYAH came to Jonah the second time, saying, Arise and go to Nineveh, the great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee. So Jonah arose and went to Nineveh according to the word of AHAYAH. Now Nineveh was an exceedingly great city of 3 days' journey. Hold on. Did I do something wrong? Hold on. Of 3 days. And Jonah began to enter into the city a day's journey, and he cried, saying, Yet 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. So the people of Nineveh believed AHAYAH and proclaimed a fast and put on sackcloth from the greatest of them even unto the least. Now listen, okay? All he had to do was go there, and the people heard, and they went into a fast. So don't say like, oh, it's useless. The Most High, we are supposed to be talking to the people. And this is what the men are supposed to, the men are supposed to be talking to the people. The flock are men. So the men have to get up and go and prophesy to the Most High's people and tell them their wickedness so they could get themselves together. This is the sign of Nineveh. This is a sign of Jonah. So the people of Nineveh believed AHAYAH and proclaimed a fast. With all the wickedness they had going on, they still proclaimed a fast and put on sackcloth from the greatest of them even unto the least of them. Look how the Most High will do, but you still have to do the work. You can't be sitting behind a camera, and then even behind the camera, you can't even open your mouth because you're scared they're going to take your camera down. So you can't even open your mouth like you're supposed to anyway, because you're worried about what Esau going to do to you. It's ridiculous. We're in the end times, and his people need to be told what to do and where to go. For the word came into the king of Nineveh, and he rose from his throne, and he said he laid his robe from him and covered him with sackcloth, and even the king, and sat in ashes. He even fasted and went into sackcloth. And he caused it to be proclaimed and published through Nineveh by the decree of the king and his nobles, saying, Let neither man nor beast, herd or flock taste anything, let them not feed nor drink water. But let man and beast be covered with sackcloth and cry mightily unto AHAYAH. Yea, let them turn every one from his evil ways and from the violence that is in their hands. So they were doing wickedness and evil, just like today. All this wickedness going on in the face of the Most High as he's trying to pour out his spirits in this awakening. You can tell if AHAYAH will turn and repent. Who can tell if AHAYAH will return and repent and turn away from his fierce anger, that we perish not? And AHAYAH saw their works, that they turned from their evil ways, and AHAYAH repented of the evil that he had said that he would do unto them, and he did not. Look at how the Most High will do. But Judah has to put their foot forth to do something. They just can't act like this stuff ain't going on. It's wickedness in the sight of the Most High. But it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he was very angry. And he prayed unto AHAYAH and said, I pray thee, O AHAYAH, was not this my saying when I was yet in my country? Therefore I fled before unto Tarshish, for I knew that thou art a gracious power and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repentest thee of the evil. Therefore now, AHAYAH, take, I beseech thee, my life from me, for it is better for me to die than to live. Then said AHAYAH, doest thou will be angry? Doest thy well to be angry? So Jonah went out of the city, and he sat on the east side of the city, and there made him a booth, and sat it in the shadow until he might see what would become of the city. So he was mad because the Most High had mercy on the city, and because he felt like, because you sent me out to prophesy, now you're gonna find grace. The nerve of him. I mean, Jonah got a lot of nerve, but oh my goodness. And AHAYAH prepared a gourd and made it to come up over Jonah, that it might be a shadow over his head, to deliver him from his grief. So Jonah was exceedingly glad of the gourd. But AHAYAH prepared a worm when when the morning rose and the next day, and smote the gourd that it withered. And it came to pass, when the sun did arise, AHAYAH prepared a vehement east wind, and the sun beat up the head of Jonah, and he fainted, and wished in himself to die, and said, it is better for me to die than to live. And AHAYAH said to Jonah, doest thou well to be angry for the gourd? He said, I do well to be angry, even unto death. Then said AHAYAH, thou hast had pity on the gourd, for that which thou hast not labored, neither mightest it grow, which it came up in a night, and perished in the night. And should not I spare Nineveh, the great city, wherein are more than 60,000 persons that cannot discern between their right hand and their left hand, and almost much cattle? Okay, so he showed some mercy to Nineveh and to Jonah for acting the way he was acting. But this is what the sign of Nineveh is. And let's go to Christ, saying about the sign of Nineveh. Let's see if we can get that. Praise AHAYAH, Bahashim Yashaya. He's so merciful. He's merciful, he didn't destroy the city. Give me a second. Our people, man, this is the sign of the end times. Christ said there's going to be no sign, only the sign of Nineveh. All the wickedness that's going on in these cities. Our people are just overturned with wickedness and lust, fornication, abominations. And nobody don't feel the need to stand up and talk about this. Yet everything else is more important in the news. Everything else, the Democrats and the Republican and all this wickedness, the daughters of Zion. That's the only thing you feel need to speak about. Oh, that's why I spoke it wrong. Matthew 12:38-41. Praise the higher Bashem Yashaya. So 12:38. Hold on. Praise the higher Bashem Yashaya. 12:38. 41. Okay, here we go. Sign of Nineveh. Okay, then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. But he answered and said unto him, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the hearts of the earth. The men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation and shall condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonas. And behold, a greater than Jonas is here. Praise AHAYAH. So they looking for the sign, but the sign was what Jonas did, had to prophesy on Nineveh. So same is today. The same is today. Our brothers have to prophesy and tell our people to repent and return, and not to just to the congregation who joins the church. They must speak to the people, the low life, the fatherless, the fatherless and the widows, and speak to these men to stop the abomination against AHAYAH. And they got to come out of Babylon. Jordan is the safe place. He said he will protect those. He will protect those found within his borders. Jordan is within the borders. And this is where the holy mountain is. So our people have to snap out of it. It's a strong delusion. Let me get that. Strong delusion going on. Witchcraft and sorcery. You know, Revelation 18:4 says, come out, my people. Come out, because there's wickedness. I'm paraphrasing. And every foul spirit and unclean and hateful bird is locked in Babylon. It's witchcraft, brothers and sisters. You're under strong delusion. Strong delusion, brothers and sisters. You have to snap out of it. It's coming. And right now I'm going to go into a next segment of the news. They went into Iran and killed Hamas, a big Hamas leader. They are nudging at Iran, the king of the north or the south. We're going to read it. Hold on. We're going to 2 Thessalonians 2:7. 2 Thessalonians 2:7 down to like 14. Hold on. I'm highlighting. 2 Thessalonians 2:7 down. Let's see. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until it be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom AHAYAH shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the work of Satan, with all power and signs of lying wonders, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. For this cause AHAYAH shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. People are under a strong delusion, brothers and sisters, that they might be damned who believe not of the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Praise AHAYAH. But we are bound to give thanks always to AHAYAH for you, brethren, beloved of Yashaya, because AHAYAH hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation, to sanctification in the spirit and belief of the truth, whereby he called you by our gospel to the obtaining of the glory of our Savior, Yashaya Christ. Praise AHAYAH Bahashim Yashaya. I want to go back to that strong delusion, just to get some precepts on that. Hold on. Where am I at? It's 11. Send them. Let's see. Listen, to Isaiah 6 and 9 through 10, it said, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. So even if you go prophesy to them, and a lot of them will act like they don't hear, they don't understand, you still must go and speak to this, to show them their wickedness, prophesy against them. And this is what the problem is. That's why a lot of people don't want to hear what Sister Connor has to say, because they don't want to hear nothing negative. They only want to hear good, smooth things. They don't want to say, they want you to hear, thus saith AHAYAH, get yourselves together. That judgment is coming, and you must straighten up your act and not be condoning wickedness. You must rebuke them and tell them what their sin is, because judgment is coming. So people don't want to hear you come and letting them know, thus saith AHAYAH, judgment is coming. You must get your act together. They want you to talk smooth things to them and tell them how amazing they're doing because they're men and they're standing up. But AHAYAH says no. You must go and speak to them and tell them the ought that the Most High that has against them. They're sinning, and it's an abomination. And these men are lying with men, and they're going against the daughters of Zion. They're killing the daughters of Zion. The transsexuals and all this wickedness, has to stop. And you must speak it. You are the men. You are the flock. You are the men. Y'all must stand up for AHAYAH and proclaim the wickedness that's going on in the earth. Why destruction is coming to Babylon. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert, and be healed. This is the point. And no sense of sugarcoating this information. Tell them their fault. Tell them the ought that the Most High have with them. They have to come back to AHAYAH. You have to prophesy and tell them what is the problem. Ain't no sense of you talking sweet, smooth things to these hard-headed, stiff-necked people. Jonah had to go and prophesy against Nineveh, and then they converted and they fasted, and at least they got the opportunity. The Most High will forgive their sins. But as long as you sugarcoating it for them and not giving them the real deal of how the Most High is going to bring it, the hammer down on them, they won't repent. They won't turn away. That's the sign of Jonas. Jonas had to go prophesy and tell the great city the wickedness of their sin. It's no sense of compromising with these people. It's no sense of sugarcoating it and making them feel like, oh, all you got to do is this, keep the Lord's statute commandments. They're not doing that. And time is running short. Time is running out. So I wanted to give those scriptures, and I want to just take a little time and go into the news really quickly, especially what happened recently over here in the Middle East. Yes, it's happening over here. This is where it's going to start, but Babylon will be destroyed. Babylon is going to be destroyed in the process of this war. So you need to get out. Get out of Babylon. Jordan is the safe place. And even though you see all Hades breaking loose, this is just the commotion of it. America is going to be destroyed. And Jordan is the only safe place. Get out, get out, get out. Praise AHAYAH Yashaya. If you want more information, if you run across this video, you want more information, you can send an email to info at I told you travel at Yadu at toldyotravel.com, or you can send it to itoja travel at yahoo.com. Get some information on how to make it outside of Babylon. Get out, get out, get out. Jordan is the safe place. Now, give me 1 second, and we're going to go into some news about what happened here. They went into Iran. First I have to go into let me show you the news first, and then I'll go into some more scriptures. Hold on. Praise AHAYAH Yashaya. Hold on. Let me just give you so you don't know how bad it is, because they may not be talking about it. And everything sounds short. Hold on. Now, he's talking about getting your money out of the bank. That's not big. Hold on. Right now. Here we go. Okay.
Land, booyah. We have a massive update, a huge story. Another political leader is taking.
What happened? Give me a second. Just do that. Hold on.
Which is backing it directly. Land, booyah. We have a massive update, a huge story. Another political leader is taken out. This is opening up and will open up a guaranteed larger regional World War III event in the Middle East, just like we have predicted. We've told all of you to get ready, get your money out of the banks. Hyperinflation is now rampant all over the West. In fact, we got numbers coming out from Europe just a couple hours ago, higher than expected. And now this is Israel and the United States, which is backing it directly, not to mention the wars in Ukraine, which we also predicted would open up World War III, has now grown into a larger regional, imminent, massive conflict, of which I believe Iran will hit the West hard, God forbid, in the coming hours. So we have a very large Hamas political leader who was taken out just hours ago. This is the second leader that has been taken out just within hours, and this is humiliating to Iran, and I'm going to tell you why. They will strike, in my view, and they will hit hard. We must get ready worldwide. We must pray for all nations, all people, of course, in the name of God and in the name of Jesus Christ, because this has opened up a biblical conflict that we have never seen before. Let's get into this story and a whole lot more. Please like and share. Yes, Brad, we do need your prayers. And I do believe that this will lead to a nuclear conflict. Again, I've talked about this for some time, to keep your eyes on Europe. That's where I think the event will take place. Now, we're seeing this all across the fake news, CNN, Fox News. Notice, and I tweeted this earlier, you should be following me on Twitter at AMTV Media. Where's Joe Biden? Joe Biden is still technically the president of the United States. Where is he? I haven't seen any images. I haven't seen any video. I haven't seen any speeches. In fact, the only coverage now is of Kamala. Isn't this interesting? Joe Biden has been removed, just like we said, from the White House. Where is Joe Biden? Joe is still technically the U.S. president, but he is nowhere to be found, proving that the president actually isn't in control of these events, that these events are transpiring by other global power structures that are really in charge of this opening wider conflict, which, by the way, they're pushing us into World War III right before Donald Trump gets into the White House, just like I've warned. Again, they will open up not just economic collapse, not just bank runs in the United States, confiscation of your real wealth, hyperinflation in the USA and in Europe, but they're also going to open up war. Iran is now planning how it will respond to this heinous act that just took place in and on Iranian soil in Tehran. This took out this very prevalent Hamas leader as well as his bodyguard. He was, of course, taken out in the capital of Tehran, according to reports in Iranian state media. It's also important to note that I believe that what happened to the last Iranian president was also a cover-up. I believe he was taken out in that helicopter. That's my opinion. I don't think the helicopter just went down in the fog. And I told you that from day one, that that was another covert operation war that are now bringing the United States, and more importantly, your kids, to war with Lebanon, to war with Iran, not just war in Ukraine, not just war in Gaza, but it's going to open up a multi-pronged conflagration, worst case World War III event that, God forbid, will come back to haunt the United States on domestic soil. And I think you know what I mean by that. Again, Iran has proxies all over the world, especially in the United States of America. And I believe that they will use them, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, again, your leaders have kept the borders wide open. You to stay safe, but the truth is you're not safe at all. Your borders have been wide open. People have been coming in. They are ready. The United States is at war with all these other countries. And guess what? There's repercussions to your political leadership's advancement in these parts of the world and these heinous acts. So we see, again, mainstream news is reporting on this. Now, this is also very humiliating for Iran, which is why they're going to hit very, very hard. They're going to crush the West after this, ladies and gentlemen, because it happened on the reinstatement of the new Iranian president. Again, we just have the other leader who went down in the mysterious, curious, and all too convenient helicopter crash because they said the weather. Yeah, kind of reminds me of SEAL Team 6. Kind of reminds me of all the other lies that are spewed to us on a daily basis, which we know are untruths and not real. So I can't use the word, but they took this guy out by force. There was another individual who was also taken out by force. So what does this mean? This means Iran will respond. Now, keep in mind, both Russia and China, arguably the world's most powerful countries in the world. I want to remind you that Russia is winning in Ukraine. The United States is losing. Russia is winning in Ukraine. All your money is being spent for no reason. It's taxing your kids. They're not even taking care of our own infrastructure in the USA, but they're dropping billions in a failed war in Ukraine. I want you to keep this in mind. And so this is building up to the perfect scapegoat for the economic financial collapse in the United States. Again, stock market's a Ponzi scheme. It's going to go to zero. Expect every stock and bank account to crash in the United States. Expect bank runs. Expect your ATMs to not work, especially as they're moving into the digital reset of Bitcoin, blockchain, and now crypto, which I've been warning and telling you to invest in for a very, very long time because it's the plan. Again, we always knew BlackRock was going to get into Bitcoin. I knew that 10 years ago. I always knew that they were scamming all of you. I always knew when they told you not to buy Bitcoin that they were lying to you. That's what I told you. I always knew when these political figures said, no, they prefer the US dollar and that Bitcoin is a scam. I told you they were lying. And then eventually they'd screw you out of all of your wealth, take you to war, and eventually endorse it, which is exactly what they're doing. And I'm telling you that the World War III event has officially erupted. Ladies and gentlemen, have you shared this video yet? Are you getting this critical update and this information out to the viewing public? Do you have freaking food and water? You're going to need at least 6 months to a year of food and water, ladies and gentlemen. Get your preps now. And so we see the Qatari prime minister respond. China's leadership, Xi Jinping, condemn the event. Russia is now moving. We've seen more military escalation in places like Alaska. I keep telling you to diversify your assets, get your money out of the banks, look to internationalize yourself, form communities that are focused on Jesus Christ first, with real action that protect you and your families, that protect your money, and more importantly, is saving souls. Here at the Digital Noah's Ark. Now, we see this breaking across all major news wires, not just CNN, but Fox News, MSNBC. It's the headline story. But again, the big event hasn't happened yet. So I want you to think about the tactics, the counter moves that Iran potentially will use. This includes electromagnetic pulses bringing down the entire United States electrical financial grid. This includes other things in our skies, which I'm not allowed to talk about. That's why Donald Trump instituted the Space Force. It's a new branch of top secret military industrial complex war technology. I believe that the next event will be cybermetric. It will bring down and target food supply in the United States. It will target shipping cargo, transportation, trains, moving goods and shipments in and out of your city, your vehicle, which can be decapitated by an EMP strike electromagnetic pulse along the electromagnetic spectrum, which I've taught entire courses on, warning you of what would come next over a decade ago. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a critical emergency warning update. Biden, breaking news, is now responding, coming out of the gutter after being trashed by the deep state, hosing him, and then installing Kamala temporarily without a vote. Think about this. Kamala is like running things now. She's not even the president. No one even voted for her. They're telling us that they're worried about coups in Venezuela. It looks like we just had one in the United States of America, for crying out loud. We could care less about Venezuelan politics. We care about America. And Biden, now, as he sits on embers on his way out into a geriatric retirement home, of which he will have a full-time staff of critical care to treat his Parkinson's disease and dementia, as he probably enters hospice very, very soon. Again, the United States has had someone in power who needs to be in hospice care. That's how bad it is. But again, it's the design to place an empty vessel into the United States, to collapse everything, usher in World War III. As soon as Trump is have already erupted, The economic financial collapse will be blamed on him. Americans will be panicking quite literally as a result of the economic financial capital controls that are coming to the United States of America. Now Biden says this. It's not really Biden, it's just the administration here. It says a former intelligence officer says Israel is not messing around. So Israel appears to be claiming responsibility for taking out and targeting this leader, just whacking him in broad daylight in Tehran. And I'm just pointing out again, there's no rule of law when it comes to war, folks. There's no legality or anything. They just do whatever they want. They just drop projectiles on your forehead. That's what the United States does. That's what Western governments do. That's what all governments do. So I just want you to understand this. There are no rules. You are at war. Okay, and there will be no rules in bringing down the grid in the United States of America as well when it happens. I'm not the only one that's been warning about this. I've been warning about this, of course, for years, an entire generation now. But now that we see the events kick off, not just with the leveling of Gaza, but now a full-blown conflict that's about to erupt in Lebanon, we did see Israel strike Lebanese territory just within the 24, 48 hours in the last couple of days. Keep in mind, I'm a day ahead here in Thailand, Booyah, completely exiting out the system and, of course, buying luxury real estate for all of our members outside of the banks prior to the collapse, prior to World War III, and prior to the bank runs to protect all of our assets and grow those assets during the blockchain transition and the CBDC reset. We're going to profit immensely. This is what we're doing, of course, at the Digital Noah's Ark, 1,000 freaking X to the moon. But Israel, which is now being blamed for this event, says that they're not messing around. And the individual who was a huge figure, had an estimated net worth of near $4 billion, was taken out on Tehran's soil, which is a very big blow to Iran leadership. So I want you to keep this in mind. They already had their president go down in a mysterious helicopter crash, which they say was an accident. But I think we know it wasn't an accident. Now, on the day of the new inauguration of the new president, 2 other leaders get taken out. Now, this individual, I'm not saying he was a good person or anything like that. He was, of course, in charge of war efforts as a part of Hamas and other entities overseas. But there's always 2 sides to every story. Again, Israel has their side, Gaza has their side. Israel has their opinions, Palestine has their opinions. Iran has their own side of the story, just like China, just like Russia. My question for you is, do you trust your American leadership? Because I don't. I don't trust a darn thing coming out of Washington, D.C.'s dirty mouth, and nor should you. So I don't just go along with the official narrative just because Fox News and CNN and the fake news and the latest hijacked fake alt media pundits tell me something. So this is going to be a massive, massive blow, which I believe will escalate, send the economy into ruins. If you think what's happening in Venezuela is bad, wait until the same thing happens in the United States. We are Venezuela, ladies and gentlemen. We are Zimbabwe. Our currency has imploded. This is the equivalent of the Argentine peso going to zero. The truth is, most Americans just don't realize that they're being stolen from by the criminal cabal elites. See, inflation is a silent event. And people living on credit and debt and credit cards and mortgages don't realize that their real wealth has already been stolen from them by the financial elites. So it's so important to move your money outside of the system before this trauma hits. Obviously, we're in a very contentious selection process with Donald T. I'll say his name. If I even mention his name, it goes into the algorithms. But this is very, very contentious right now. We've seen all the host of events that have happened in recent days. So, critical report, ladies and gentlemen. Please like and share. We have just had a major Hamas Middle Eastern leader taken out in the heart of Tehran. And this is your moment to really get ready and be prepared. I do want to do a shout out to a few individuals. David Lee, you know who you are. Just filled out an amazing app at islandproject.com. He's coming in with his first 30 units into our world-class project. I want to commend you, sir, for onboarding the digital Noah's Ark. You truly are the resistance.
Okay, guys, so basically that's just the gist of it. They are undermining Iran and taking out their leaders. 3 months ago, they took out the president, and now another high-ranking author who's running Hamas. They took him out the other day, yesterday or the day before. Two of them. So it's like they're playing in their face. They somehow they got intelligence inside Iran, and they're taking out their people. And it's like a slap in the face. It makes Iran look very weak, you know. And so of course they're going to make him strike. So it reminds me of the scriptures, and I'm going to go into the scriptures of Daniel with the king of the south and the king of the north. And I'll read those quickly. But just to give you an idea of what is going on, it's all biblical. Okay? This is biblical prophecies in our face. And it's happening right before our eyes. But we are not supposed to be asleep. Do not let them rock you to sleep, brothers and sisters. With all this other stuff, it's happening so fast, you don't have time to, pay attention. But Daniel 11:40, it says, and at the time of the end, talking about the end times, you can't get around this. We are in the end times. Shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind. So it's showing that the king of the south, you got to read the whole paragraph. It tells you, but it starts, it's an old time prophecy, but this is coming from latter times, the time that we're in. I'll read it again. 11:40 says, and at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, with horsemen, and with many, many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. So that's war. That's clearly war. He shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand: Edom, Moab, and the chief children of Ammon. So that's present day Jordan, brothers and sisters. Jordan will not be touched at this time. So you don't have to be afraid to come in here now, because Christ will take down Edom and Moab. Okay? So you must know that, and I'll quickly go into those scriptures because I just did it. Matter of fact, I'll read it for you after this. Okay, Edom, Moab, and the chief children of Ammon, the modern day Jordan. And the chief children, that means that there will be some ruckus here in Ammon. But that's would be just a ruckus. It's not going to be Edom destroyed and Moab destroyed. That's not going to happen now. So don't even worry about that. The scriptures tell us, and it's our schoolmaster, and it's our guide. Don't let nobody say, ooh, don't go to Jordan. Jordan is the safe place in the time of the end for the Most High's people. But I'll finish. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. And that really happened. Egypt was already taken down, when they had the big fallout with Tunisia and Yemen and Egypt. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold, of silver, and all of the precious things of Egypt. Yes, they took all the stuff. And the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. Libyan was taken down too. Gaddafi moved out the way. They all were moved. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and utterly to make away many. And we see what's going on in Russia up north there. Russia is already, at war. But listen, and he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas of the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end. Talking about the king of the north, and none shall help him. So it's happening. This is an end time prophecy, and we have to be able to put these things together. And so study to show yourself approved. But we're going to go to Numbers 24 and 17, just so you know who is going to destroy Edom, who is going to destroy Moab. It's not going to be through this type of war. Most High is going to send his son Yashaya. Okay, and Yashaya at the end, when he comes to, get his redeemed, which is the children of Israel, he's going to fight for us. And this is how these places get destroyed. Okay, listen. Numbers 24 and 17. And I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Judah. Who is that but Christ, Yashaya? A scepter shall rise out of Israel, that's Yashaya, and shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do violently. So Israel will triumph, is what he's saying. But the Yashaya, the Most High is going to send Yashaya to smite the corners of Moab, and Edom will be a possession because Yashaya will take it down. Okay? Out of Judah shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. Praise AHAYAH. Now let's go to, just to show you, let's go to Isaiah 63. And that just puts icing on this beautiful cake that the Most High made. Praise AHAYAH. Bahashim Yashaya. AHAYAH 63. The Lord's day of vengeance. This is Yashaya coming. Who is this that cometh from Edom, and with dyed garments of Bozrah? This is Edom, modern day Jordan. This is where Christ is going to come. This is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Talking about Yashaya. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the winepress? So his garments is all red. Okay, I have trodden down the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. So it's not an army, it's just Christ. For I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, because it's war. Christ is coming to take down Edom. This is what he's saying. And I will stain all of my raiment, for the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed has come. The Most High has sent his son Yashaya. He will come to Edom. He will come to the east first. We know that. He will be seen in the east first. In Edom, he will deal with them. Okay, so that is what the Most High is saying here. It won't happen through just a regular war when they're fighting amongst each other. Christ will bring the judgment to Edom and Moab. Praise AHAYAH Bahashim Yashaya. Praise AHAYAH Bahashim Yashaya. So just know that, and you can read the rest. I'll read these two more. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury, it upheld me. Okay, it's Christ who's going to bring down Edom. So that's not for now. America will already be destroyed. You must get here before the destruction of Babylon. Get out, get out, get out. And I will tread down the people in my anger. It's AHAYAH who will bring down Edom in his anger, and make them drunk in my fury. I will bring down their strength to the earth. Okay, so it's clear that it's Yashaya who is going to bring down Edom and Moab. So you don't have to worry. It's not your fight. Don't be afraid to come out of Babylon. AHAYAH says, this is the place where he will protect those found within his borders. And at the end time, when they think to come up against us and remembers us here, Christ will intervene and take them down. You must know that. Don't be afraid. Get out of Babylon. AHAYAH is sending his son Yashaya. Our king is coming. Yashaya is coming, and he's coming soon. And he's coming with fury and wrath, and he's going to take these nations down. We must be in the right place so that you can be part of the, the gathering that he will come for his people. Okay? Jordan is a safe place, brothers and sisters. Get out, get out, get out. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, get out. Know that this thing is brewing. America is pushing, Israel is pushing at Iran and causing them to have to strike. They want war. They want to destroy and bring judgment to America to get rid of the children of Israel. That's why you must come out. The Most High is raising up the Medes. He's going to raise up Iran to destroy Babylon. And that's in Jeremiah 51. And I'll just read a little bit of that. Okay, just to give, some more scriptures, because we are in end times. All of this is end time prophecy. You must see it for what it is. Don't chalk it off. Don't blow it off like it ain't nothing. This is something. This is a major, major event by them killing 2 or 3 of the Iranian bigwigs in Iran. That's a problem. You got to know that this should and will set things off. Get out of harm's way. Prepare. Get out of Babylon. Buy food. Buy water. Prepare and get in the safe place. Get in the safe zone. Okay? Get within the safe zone. Okay, let me go to Jeremiah 51 just really quickly. Praise AHAYAH Bahashim Yashaya. None of his judgments and his prophecies are slack. It's all coming to pass, and it's right in our face. And they got so much going on with this presidential, race that, everything is covering around that. But meanwhile, all Hades is breaking loose. And of course, like I've told you over the years, it's going to start here. And it's going to look pretty bad here to make you not want to come. But this is the safe place. The Most High said he will protect those found within his borders. So you must get here. Okay, the utter destruction. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. The utter destruction of Babylon. Okay, we're just going to go into that really quickly. Just to read it because it needs to be read. Because people don't want to equate what's going on with scriptures. They want to talk about everything else. They're talking about everything else, but they ain't talking about what's going on with these prophecies. Okay, the other destruction of Babylon. Thus saith AHAYAH, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, meaning war and, arrows and bows and guns, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigading, and spare ye not your young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, or AHAYAH of hosts, through their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon. Deliver every man his soul. Get out, get out, get out. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of AHAYAH's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in AHAYAH's hand that made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go, everyone, into his own country. For her judgment reaches into heaven and is lifted up even into the skies. AHAYAH has brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of AHAYAH, our power. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. AHAYAH had raised up the spirits of the king of the Medes. This is Iran, modern day Iran, spirit of the kings of the Mede. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of AHAYAH, the vengeance of his temple. And we just saw in Daniel 11, it was saying that the king of the south keeps hitting, at the king of the north. They're pushing and pushing and pushing Iran, causing her to have to strike, because they killed 3 high officials in Iran. They killed the president, and they killed, I guess, the guy who's going to be president, the next president in line. They got him out the way 3 months ago, and now they killed 2 other higher officials. One who's overseeing Hamas. In Iran, they did that. They took him out in their country. That's a problem. Jeremiah 51:12. Set up a standard upon the hills of Babylon. Make watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For AHAYAH had AHAYAH had both devised and done which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Praise AHAYAH Bahasham Yashaya. I'm going to leave it at that, because I've been on long enough. Praise AHAYAH. But I just wanted to give y'all this information. It's 3 hours. I give all honor and glory and praise to AHAYAH. We have to declare what the Most High is doing. Cry out and spare not. The men, prophesy on Nineveh. They have to go to these places, these cities, and raise up the men and have these men repent for the sin, so the Most High can, have grace in his eyes. These men have to go and talk to these brethren who are out of control, so that they can get themselves together, and hopefully they will repent and start to come out of Babylon and prepare to get out. So praise AHAYAH Bahasham Yashaya. I'm going to close out. I pray that you all are making your way out of Babylon. People think, because the summer was here, all this stuff is going on, and it's going on right in your faces. Brothers and sisters, this is going on in your face. Please get out. Please get out. And get, yourself together. Get food and water. Get out of Babylon. Get to Jordan. Really, that's the only place really to go. Get out in the name of Yashaya. Jordan is the safe place. I give all honor and glory and praise to AHAYAH AHAYAH Bahasham Yashaya wa Qadash wa. Shalom. Please like, share, subscribe, share it. Get the information out to our people. Let them know what's coming. It's coming, brothers and sisters. AHAYAH's prophecy is not slack. Praise AHAYAH.
Judah, sound the trumpet. Hey, let's go. AHAYAH Bahasham Yashaya. Come on. I got joy in my soul. AHAYAH's in control. I got Satan on my trail, but I'm singing all is well. I'm attacking every day, but I'm watching while I pray. No matter the attack, I won't turn back. This means war. Yeah. This means war. This generation is coming soon. This means war. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. This means war. This is war. I walked out of Babylon. Yashaya's armor on. I praise on my lips. Joy strut on my hips. No weapon formed will prosper. Cause AHAYAH is my father. No matter the attack, I won't turn back. This means Yashaya's coming soon, my Savior. Are you ready? I plead right. You glorious in the barrel. You traveling with greatness and strength. Who's the coming from Edom? With thy garments of Bozrah. You glorious in the barrel. You traveling with greatness and strength. This is war. Yashaya's coming soon. Get ready, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Get out of Babylon and get within the waters. And you can't have no family. You can't have no victory. Yashaya brings a million. Yashaya, Yashaya, Yashaya. We're gonna break this thing down. Praise the higher. Praise the higher. Praise the higher. Hey. Come on, love. We're gonna do the Jordan stride. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, we're gonna do the Jordan stride.
He's bringing all the nations to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Yes, the valley of decision. Praise Ahayah. Whose side are you on? Are you coming to the valley of Jehoshaphat? The valley of decision? Whose side are you on? Stretch yourself.